and what I've always called Wing Baker Road. I don't know what it's like, Alabama 137 and the Florida 189 or something.
I get off of that exit. I just turn a little quicker than you and go across a different bridge.
Right. So I always come down Wing Baker Road. So once I got on the back roads, I opened the sunroof, put the windows down.
Me too.
And blared the music. And a wasp flies in my car. Most random thing. So I take I've always got wet wipes in my car. So I take a wet wipe and I smash the wasp and I think it's dead. And I pick it up in the wet wipe and the thing stings my finger while I'm driving.
Wow.
I mean, it is
his last act was stinging
my finger.
I pulled a tick off myself riding down. Yeah. That same part of the road.
In the Conecuh Forest?
Yep.
Yeah. Boy, it's dangerous forest there, the Conecuh.
So Gen Z has revealed what age they consider to be old. What do you think it is?
I think it is now 50.
What age is Gen Z?
Yeah. I think it's 50 now.
What is Gen Z?
Rockstar? Gen Z is what?
The story is people that are born from 1997 to 2012.
Yeah. So this includes Taylor and EG.
Yeah. All right. So they're going to think anybody born before 1990 is old.
Yeah.
So I think if you're a child of the 80s or 70s, you're old.
I think they used to think probably it was 40. And then EG and Taylor got to meet me, so now they think it's 50.
Gen Z, Salma Hayek, Mike Tyson, Gordon Ramsay, total of 2,000 adults took part in a study highlighting some of the clear generational differences between Gen Z born 97 to 2012 and boomers born 46 to 64. Young people under the age of 27 believe old age hits in your late 50s. With retirement primarily involving sitting in an armchair, 20% believe that, or pottering around, 16% believe that.
Pottering around.
This would mean Gordon Ramsay, Mike Tyson, Salma Hayek, all geriatrics in the eyes of the young age of 57. But boomers believe 60 is the new 40, with 2/3 of the participants saying they felt more youthful than they are.
Huh.
I do think 60 is probably the new 40, right?
I believe it.
Yeah. I think people are probably living longer on average, right? But
you guys would say I'm very young at heart and mind.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've always tried to stay young.
Yeah. I don't.
You don't act your age.
I try not to. Yeah. Maggie wishes I would more. But last night you guys were leaving to go have dinner, and I was like, I can go to a restaurant anytime. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this music that I'd never seen before, and I jammed out.
You did do that. That is true.
Will you do it all night tonight?
I will watch all of St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one now. I will watch that one.
High school athletic director in Maryland has been accused of using AI to impersonate a principal on an audio recording that included racist and anti-Semitic comments.
So he made it look like the principal said all this stuff, trying to get the guy fired.
This is, I'm telling you, man, AI is so dangerous.
This is the way wars will start. I mean, you could just make it look like the president of the United States is saying this about somebody.
Yeah.
The authorities said the case appears to be among the first of its kind in the country, called for new laws to guard against technology. Experts also warned that artificial intelligence becoming increasingly powerful, while the ability to detect it may lag behind without more resources.
I mean, just imagine AI putting out on social media, Putin saying we are in the process over the next 12 hours launching all of our nuclear missiles into the United States.
Yeah, I don't think he would make that announcement ahead of time. I think you just kind of do that as a surprise, but I see what you're saying. But part of the problem is, based on the last 8 years of our country, I can believe the president would say anything. I mean, there's very few things based on our last two presidents. I'm being very serious about it. I'm not taking a shot.
That's what makes it dangerous. And you believe Putin would say anything.
Yeah, based on the last two, like there's almost nothing you could put out there that I'm like, I don't know if he said that. It's almost all believable.
Deshaun Darien faked the voice of Pikesville High School's principal in response to conversations the men had about Darian's poor work performance and whether his contract would be renewed. Darien, 31, faces charges that include theft, disrupting school activities, stalking, and retaliating against a witness, according to court documents.
You're right. It is on the way to being the downfall of society for sure.
It sure is. That is trash, my friends.
All right.
Brought to you by Mortgage Right?
Yeah, the best when it comes to mortgages. Make sure you check out our friends at Mortgage Right. Whether you're buying your first home or your last home, these guys can help you out. Speaking of veterans, they're veteran founder right here in Birmingham. So whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call the Birmingham office, 205-900-7200.
We go overtime with Rockstar in the Floribama Lounge when we come back on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Here we go, live show now on a Monday after a wonderful trip down to the Gulf Coast. We appreciate everyone back here keeping us afloat as we were live on the road on Friday. Still getting a lot of compliments about our conversation with Paul Janaway of St. Paul's and the Broken Bones. That's up for you if you want to go back and listen to that in its entirety. Wherever you get our podcasts, including Apple and Spotify, always available on YouTube. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up as you join us in the chat room today, or on the audio or video platforms all across the internet. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, Lunsford, Tyler, Forrester, Taylor Corns anchoring everything in our social media command center. At Next Round Live across the internet for you. At Next Round Live, Lunsford raising the roof back there. Lunsford in a good mood, raising the roof back there. Kelsey and Reed handling everything else. Milton's working on the Meltdown, which is today at 2 o'clock, where you can like and subscribe that as well. 2 o'clock Central Time, our pop culture show there. As happens so many times, we are starting with basketball today. Later, the NBA playoffs. Later, the close finishes in both the Kentucky Derby and in NASCAR over the weekend. NFL news to talk about. College football news to talk about. But Alabama got their rim protector, their defensive anchor. And it was a long time coming. It came down to a couple of blue bloods. But there he is, Big Cliff, commits to Alabama over the weekend. And the biggest takeaway for me is not only is he what Alabama, the missing piece, Jeff Goodman calls him Bediako 2.0.
His numbers are better than Bediako's.
Yeah, but that's what Goodman calls him. Was that according to Tipton and others who cover the sport, he turned down a $2 million NIL offer. I assume that was $1 million a year over 2 years, but a $2 million NIL offer from another school to come to Alabama for less NIL money.
Yeah, but I wonder what that money was. And look, this guy has been an elite defender for the last 3 years in the Big Ten with Rutgers. And if you go to ESPN.com's men's basketball homepage, top headline with him like featured in the middle, 2024-2025 transfer tracker, Alabama lands elite defender Cliff Omoruyi. And so it goes in and gives a little story on him. And I mean, this is exactly what Alabama needed. They needed a really good defender. They needed a big. They needed a rim protector, and they got it all with Omoruyi.
You know, it's interesting. And I'm going to pull up Jeff Goodman's tweet here.
That's a terrible nickname, by the way.
What, the Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Yeah.
You think he's good with that, or is it? Yeah. Alabama seems to have embraced it.
Well, he was coming from Rutgers, and
right, they're red.
They're red. Yeah. They're scarlet.
Alabama's crimson.
Yeah.
Does that work?
He can still be a shade of red.
Yeah.
Clifford just seemed bigger, aloof, more of a, I don't know. I don't know what big I would put him at.
He was a puppy first. He was big, oversized puppy. He's a giant in the middle.
Yeah, but he was really, he was a nice dog, right?
Oh, he licked everybody. He caused problems sometimes. He'd lick you so hard that he would throw the ice cream truck off the beach.
Yeah. And there was actually an ice cream truck on the beach this weekend. Did
was
you guys
it
see that?
really?
I missed that.
Well,
I never went to the beach.
It was a guy, which seems like it would be a pain in the ass, like the old school cooler before they got the Yetis, the collapsible that you could carry. You remember dragging one of those things with wheels?
Yeah.
Well, this guy was pushing an ice cream cart. It was a big-ass ice cream cart,
but if that thing cost $0.25 and he's selling them for $4, it's worth the drag, right?
That's a hard way. Yeah. Easier ways you get tow people down there. Easier ways to make money.
Hey, so Jeff Goodman tweeted that Jeff Goodman tweeted there are a few college hoop programs right now that could still get players even without being one of the highest NIL bidders. And as Scott is showing you, here are the three programs he mentions: UConn, Baylor, Alabama. I'm going to need somebody, perhaps Jeff, to explain this one to me.
Jeff Goodman, Goodman Hoops, Field of 68. There are a few college hoop programs right now that can still get players even without being one of the highest NIL bidders.
Okay, here's what I would say about UConn. You got a back-to-back national champion.
That one makes sense. I'm okay with that. And, I mean, you feel like you're going to win a national championship there. You're playing elite-level basketball.
Dan Hurley's obviously a very good coach.
Alabama, and this is just me guessing, the style of play, all kids want to play that style.
All right. I'm not arguing. Obviously, I'm not arguing with Jeff. He knows
Scott
all these
Drew
things.
plays a similar style, and this is a guy that has won a national championship, and maybe Baylor has some of the best basketball facilities out there. We heard years ago they had better football facilities in Texas.
They did. They had better football facilities than most of the Big 12. But then when I was, that's what Chip Brown told us. It was like best football facilities of the Big 12, Baylor. And then I was out there.
That Scott Drew didn't leave Baylor. He could have gone to Kentucky.
True. Yep. Right. And I was out there and I saw their facilities. They didn't blow me away, but I think that's a commentary on the rest of the Big 12.
Nate Oates could have too gone to Kentucky.
But I mean, and again, I am not arguing.
Dan Hurley could have gone to Kentucky. All those people could have gone to Kentucky.
And I'm not saying that. Obviously, I guess what I'm saying is I just need to know why this is the case. I'm not saying that it isn't the case, that Alabama isn't in that group. If there was
a day you saw Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, you'd be like,
makes sense.
Well, I'll give you three. Proven path to the NBA style of play, right? You're playing an NBA style of play for Alabama.
Nate Oates has put guys in the NBA, yes.
Good NIL money, but a great team around you.
Okay.
In this case, for Cliff or anybody else who signed this year. And you're buying the future. You could be a part of something that has never been done before to win a championship. It's old hat at UConn.
Yeah, and I wonder how appealing that even is.
I don't know. It would be appealing for us at our age, and that sounds really cool. But for those guys, who knows?
I don't know that that's appealing to a kid, but maybe it is.
Well, I mean, if you walk in, you look around the roster. I mean, when Cam Newton chose Auburn back in the day, he looked at Mississippi State's roster, he looked at Auburn's roster, and he goes,
well, yeah,
I can win a championship at Auburn. You look at UConn right now. You look at Baylor right now. You look at Alabama right now.
I'm just saying, you don't have the Dukes and the North Carolinas and the Kansases on there. That's what was interesting to me is why it's those three schools.
Well, it's without the biggest NIL money. I think.
Yeah, I mean, you would think those schools could probably be a little bit chintzy on the NIL money.
Well, I mean, North Carolina apparently is the school, according to, if you believe people on the internet, there's no confirmation of this, but they believe North Carolina was the $2 million.
Yeah, but I don't understand why they're not in a group where they really don't even have to do that, like Goodman is saying. I mean,
because you got Hubert Davis is your head coach, and I really don't know what you get with Hubert. but for Amorier to go to Alabama, I kind of get it. Would you rather play for Nate and his style or Hubert? And some North Carolina fans are going to get after it, and there's plenty of them in the chat room. So they played for a national championship in year one. They completely missed the tournament. They underachieved as a one this year. So I don't know what you get with Hubert Davis. I mean, obviously, it is one of the most iconic brands out there, and it's one of the top three programs all time in college basketball.
I mean, it's wild to see Alabama in that basketball discussion. Like if the football equivalent, Chris Lowe, had tweeted that there are three football schools that really don't have to go heavy on the NIL to get players. They are Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama. I'm like, yeah, that fits.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? I mean,
I guess what I'm saying, Brown, and I'm doing a bad job of saying this, is I don't think those programs in football and then the ones you're mentioning in basketball will ever get outbid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think they could, because of their reputation, pay less because you get a chance to play for a blue blood. But I don't think they ever let it get to that. Like,
maybe that's what Jeff is saying. I don't know.
Where are you on NIL? Okay, we can beat that.
Maybe that's what he's saying. That's not the way I read that, but maybe that's what he's saying.
There was always that narrative, and a lot of it was proven, that Pitino, Calipari, they would go out and they would pay their players. And for a moment in time, it was Mike Krzyzewski doesn't have to do that at Duke. Duke recruits itself. Right. They don't have to pay. They can do everything above board. I don't know if that was true. It seemed like it was at the time.
Never believed it.
Probably wasn't.
Yeah, just like I never believed Notre Dame never cheated either.
Yeah, I mean, that was always what blew me away before NIL era, is when your school was consistently in the top five and you were the only one that did it clean. I'm like,
right. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
I know, but
we're always in the top five in recruiting. Everybody else around us is cheating, but we're doing it the right way.
Like you started off saying, $2 million offers is what is being discussed out there by Joe Tipton and those. He went to Alabama for less money. The key is how much less money.
Yeah, right? I mean, it could be 1.5, right?
Did he have 1.8 million? Yeah. That is less money than 2. That's still a lot of money.
And do you bring in a financial guy that says this 1.5 in Tuscaloosa compared to the 2 in Chapel Hill?
Cost of living, my man.
This is the way it's going to balance
out. We're going to give you a 1.5 NIL here. Here is a $5,000 voucher to Innisfree, $5,000 vouture here.
Taco Mama.
Yeah. You could
some
get
next round gear. Yeah, I mean, just all sorts of stuff.
I love it. Next round gear.
I'm in. Well, we got a big sale coming up this week. We're going to tell you about in the next round store.
Don't you think, though, there was a time, maybe back in the mid-'90s, where you had a dad and his son, and he's like, you can get a Duke education, And I don't really care if somebody's going to pay us $50,000 for you to play there this year. You're going to Duke. You're going to win a championship, get an education, play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Maybe a dad.
Again, this me being naive.
You said, is there a dad? Maybe there was a dad that did that.
People used to tell us that about Notre Dame, too, when I was
Yeah.
a kid growing up. They don't have to do it like the Southern schools or USC. They don't have to go out and buy their players. It's Notre Dame. People would pay to come there.
I mean, we found out later on John Wooden had a huge bag man out at UCLA, and that was what frustrated a lot of coaches about John Wooden was he got painted to this guy that did everything the right way, and they're like, oh, he's cheating too? He's able to separate it from himself, so he's not the one that's getting popped.
Yeah. We all knew that Wooden's pyramid was a pyramid scheme. It wasn't just a wooden pyramid. All right, so Alabama gets the big guy. The question now becomes Mark Sears, who graduated on Saturday. Chad Sears, his dad, who Little T and I had a chance to spend some time with out at the Final Four, sends this tweet out. It's 50-50 according to the folks at Field of 68, whether Mark's coming back or not. So this tweet from Chad doesn't really help you. It stays 50-50. His tweet is, thank God for an awesome weekend. God is good. Roll Tide roll. Family time. Combine invite. Mark got invited to the NBA Combine, which is a big get. That keeps him in the conversation.
A lot of guys
drafted.
are invited, though.
Yeah, but it also gets you in front of NBA people that can really, really be honest.
Right. Only takes one team.
Yep.
Graduation. Mark got his degree. And then the last one, Cliff commits RTR.
Yeah, boy.
So
read that.
God is good.
Uh-huh.
Combine invite. Graduation. Cliff commits. It's all in there. So 50-50. 50-50 is the thing there.
Yeah, if he had gone Roll Tide before God is good, I think that's favor Alabama right there, right?
God is good.
Uh-huh.
Family time. Roll Tide's after God.
Yep.
Family time is after Roll Tide. Combine's after family time. Graduation's after combine. Cliff commits is after graduation.
Covering all them bases right there.
Yeah, so that's from the dad of Mark Sears. But if Mark Sears comes back, the guys at Field of 68 and others are saying it comes down to Alabama or Kansas as who starts the year or should start the year off as the number one team in the country.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
team to beat.
that's wild to think. And
Can I point out the last time Alabama started number one?
Did they start number one in basketball?
I thought they did the year with Ronald Still. Did they not?
they reached a number one. I don't believe they started there. They reached number one, and then they lost quickly, if I remember correctly.
I think they reached number one, never won a game as number one, and actually went on a pretty hefty, not good ending.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but they lost pretty quick once they hit number one. But they did reach number one. I don't think they've ever started number one in basketball.
That was my point, though.
Yeah.
And Still, I think, ultimately got hurt that year, did he not?
Yeah, I mean, it did not, as Jim said, it did not end well that year. They did not end number one, which is where you want to end.
Yeah, I think if Sears comes back, I think they will start the year number two.
Yeah, I'll give it to all the Alabama fans out there who, after we tweeted it out yesterday and gave a little thought about and asking, is it the best assembled roster in Alabama basketball history, top to bottom, all 13 spots? And a lot of you said, yes, it is. Most talented roster, top to bottom in Alabama basketball history. And then they said, but that guarantees you nothing. And in basketball, it does not guarantee you anything.
Yep.
I have seen now Sears in the first round of a mock draft.
Oh, have you? Mm-hmm. That's a bit of a game changer.
Yeah, that would keep me in the draft if I was a first round.
Yeah, I mean, like, you completely understand, but I think it is such a risk because I said this last week. I think it will probably now get drafted with all of the feedback he is getting, but I still think it's going to be in the second round. But if he believes he's going to go in the first and he slips in the back into the first, then it's worth it.
That's a guaranteed contract.
That's a guaranteed contract.
First round picks get guaranteed contracts.
That is right. Second round do not, and that's where NIL is a game changer for basketball teams because you can convince a guy, look, I mean, you're second round right now, right? You're not going to hurt that by coming back to play. All you can do is help that. All you can do is play your way into the first round.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're second round, the odds of you making an NBA roster are what? Give me a percentage.
25%.
25%. You got a 1 in 4 shot.
Well, I'm just saying you can't hurt your draft
stock.
Not
really.
Back.
I mean, you've got a 25% shot at best.
Injury.
If that's right. Yeah, but you're getting paid. That's the key. So the way you balance that is you say, all right, you've got maybe a 1 in 4 shot of getting drafted. I think that's probably generous. 1 in 4 shot of getting drafted. And if you don't get drafted, you get $0. You come back here, you get whatever that dollar amount is. And really, what are you hurting? You've made money. You've got guaranteed money here. Are you really hurting yourself to come back and play another year?
It's a deeper roster.
And that's
and
the thing.
You made it to the Final Four. You're on everybody. If you don't make it to the Final Four and you end up maybe not having the same numbers as last year, your stock could actually go down. Not that I'm trying to talk Mark Sears out of coming back, but
I know this is different.
But if your stock goes down.
One of the bigger appeals with Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. was how much experience they had coming into the league. Sears, if he does go, he's probably going to get drafted by a team that's got a veteran point where he gets to learn. His minutes probably aren't going to be great anyway if he comes out. I mean, I would take the close to $1 million, come back, maybe win a championship, and try to build into a first-round guy. Because, again, there's no 5'11" point guards right now in the NBA.
But my point is, you say your stock may go down. You're not in the NBA either way.
yeah.
At least you made another $1 million to play here. Whereas if you roll the dice and you go and you don't get drafted, you're going to go play in the G League for $60,000, or you're going to go play in Europe for $500,000. We're offering you more than that to play here.
Was it May 29th? Was that the number you came up with?
Yeah, I think May 29th, and the
NBA.
combine is next week. So you'll have some time between the combine for him to get that honest feedback.
Yeah. All right. That's Alabama basketball off the top. Big news for Auburn basketball. A couple of big possibilities on the horizon right after I tell you about the Regions Tradition, which is this week. You can still get your tickets all the way through the tournament. Regionstradition.com. Regionstradition.com. We're out there Wednesday for the Drummond Company Pro-Am. That will include Nick Saban. Nate Oates will be there, and probably with phone in hand, still recruiting, doing whatever Nate does. Also, Nick Saban will be there. Kalen DeBoer will be there. Charles Barkley will be there. Our buddy Hugh Freeze will be out there. Hugh's got a big event in town. Little TS tomorrow night, I believe. Yeah, tomorrow night with the Auburn NILs in town happening tomorrow night. So he comes in town for that and then hangs around for the Wednesday Pro-Am. Regionstradition.com all weekend long. Greystone Golf and Country Club starting with the Pro-Am on Wednesday. We'll be out there just off the 10th green in the White Claw tent. That is a pass-only area, but we'll be walking back and forth, and you can say hi, and maybe if you've got a pass up there, come up and hang out with us a little bit and have a cold cocktail as we get out there and enjoy a wonderful week with our friends at the Regions Tradition, regionstradition.com. And also today, by our friends at the University of Montevallo, montevallo.edu. If you're looking for a great place for your son or daughter to go to school, make it the University of Montevallo. Online, you can get all the information you need at montevallo.edu, and you can also schedule an in-person tour, montevallo.edu. 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports, that beautiful campus you see on your screen right there, and just a wonderful atmosphere. Find out as your son and daughter start thinking about college, put Montevallo on your list and find out why you belong at Montevallo, montevallo.edu. For Auburn, HR for Sanford is going to make a visit to Auburn.
That'd be interesting because think of their front line. Now, he's 6'9".
6'9". What was Jalen Williams? About 6'9"?
Yeah, I mean, in HR, I think he plays a little bigger than 6'9". Seems like, and he'll shoot from the outside. He is not afraid to pull the trigger from the outside. But think of Auburn's front line if you got him. And you got Janai Broom starting. Whatever you do with him, I don't know that he is a guaranteed starter. And then Dylan Cardwell.
Yeah. Janai is.
Yeah. And HR is maybe not a guaranteed starter, nor is Dylan Cardwell, but my goodness, your front line, the bodies you could run at people.
All
with that
athletic,
team.
too.
Yeah.
Forrester, do you know what Jalen Williams was off the top of your head? Was he 6'9"? He seemed like a 6'9" guy to me.
6'9" sounds a little tall for Jalen, but
yeah,
it'd be close.
I got him at 6'8".
6'8".
So Scott is right. That is a little tall for him.
Yeah, but he shot the three well, like HR.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I slotted HR in. Would be where Jalen Williams, that hole he left there, would be a good pickup for all.
That would be an excellent pickup. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, and then if you're looking to replace some of the guards you lost, you've got the big guy from UTSA who you like a lot, Brown.
Well, I mean, he's 6'3", 175. Jordan Ivy Curry averaged 17 and 5 last year for UTSA. Again, you're talking front court. Now you flip to the back court, and some of the guys that you've got coming in, Pegues coming in out of the transfer portal. If you add Jordan Ivy Curry out of the transfer portal, look at the two guys. You've lost Aiden Holloway. You've got those two guys that you've won that trade. Now, the trade wasn't obviously with Alabama, but If you're looking at net win, net loss, if you have both those guys, and you may already have with Pegues got the net win, but you certainly do if you've got Jordan Ivy Curry in there. I mean, that would be a heck of a pickup.
Yeah. So
and he's down to 3 teams, down to Auburn, Wake, and Central Florida,
UCF,
according to Joe Tipton. Tipton edits on 3.
Yeah, great follow if you want to keep up with all this with Joe Tipton there. So that's some basketball news as we get going there. I think it's worthy to bring up here in the opening segment because everyone hates when I talk about them when they're winning. So I feel like now's a good time to talk about them after they get swept over the weekend. Because I don't think I can mess up their mojo by talking about them today. But the Braves
here we go.
Got swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers 3 straight games. They don't play again until September 13th. So the Braves will have to wear that one a long, long time. And those are considered to be maybe the 2 best teams in baseball, definitely the 2 best teams in the National League, though the Braves wake up today 2 games behind Philadelphia in the National League East, if I see that right. Is that correct? Is the Phillies in first?
Yeah.
Over the Braves right now? What was amazing was 11 innings on Friday, 4-3 win, a 10th inning single by Ohtani keeps the Dodgers alive to force an 11th inning where they officially win it. Then against Bryce Elder, one of the Braves' all-stars pitchers. Yeah, it was a 11-2 win on Saturday that included an Ohtani home run. And then on Sunday, it was against Max Fried, a 5-1 Dodger win in which Ohtani hit not 1 but 2 home runs. Ohtani for the weekend, 8 of 12, 3 home runs, a ton of RBIs, and the Dodgers outscored the Braves 20-6.
Oh, you look at Ohtani, Max Muncy, Hernandez had 8 home runs this series. But I think more importantly, like the Dodgers with that offense, they can outscore anybody. But the Dodgers pitching held the Braves to 6 runs, 17 hits, and 29 innings. If the Dodgers pitch like that, they are unbeatable.
They really are. And I know a couple of weeks ago, I referenced the Dodgers having the best offense in baseball, and I got some blowback in the chat room. It's the Braves, Brown. It's the Braves. I don't think we're making that argument right now, are we? Not after this weekend. I mean, Lance is right. The way they hit the ball against the Braves, they don't even have to be that great in pitching. I mean, you can be super average, Lance. If their offense continues to play that way, I don't know how you beat this team.
When you're talking about
in a series, you beat them head to head, obviously.
When you're talking about Ohtani, and we were worried about all this off the field stuff that's been discussed through the first month of the season, maybe impacting him mentally.
Did it?
It has not. It has not. He happens to be tied for the lead in home runs.
Dude, one was 464 last night.
Yeah, does that leave Chavez Ravine?
Yeah, in the right spot it does.
That's not out of just any park. Yeah, name one. Yeah. Yellowstone.
Yeah, Yellowstone. Doesn't leave Yellowstone. I thought that was an impressive series for the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Braves. Big takeaway there. We'll see what happens down the stretch. A lot of baseball left to play.
By the way, the Phillies are the hottest team in baseball. You mentioned, it should be noted, that they are in front of the Braves by 2.5 games now.
Yeah.
But they've won 9 of their last 10. So nobody's playing it any better than the Philadelphia Phillies right now. So just a bad time. Obviously any time to get swept is a bad time to get swept. But the way the Phillies are playing, it is only May, so you don't panic, obviously. But the Phillies are in the lead in that NL East right now.
And guess what? Arguably the best arm in the rotation is back for the Dodgers today, Walker Buehler.
Yeah, he's back.
So look out.
And they did. I think Dave Roberts purposely was like, let's not put you against this Braves offense. Let's start you against the Marlins on Monday.
Hey, good call there. Marlins are trading away parts already. Alabama baseball and Auburn baseball get wins over the Mississippi teams on Sunday. For Bama, they beat Mississippi State. For Auburn, they beat Ole Miss. Auburn wins the softball series against Alabama to end the regular season. Auburn takes 2 of 3 from Alabama. Now it's SEC tournament time for SEC softball. That includes the Alabama Crimson Tide is a 9 seed playing LSU when the tournament starts. Starts on Tuesday, but Wednesday is the main part of the brackets. And LSU and Alabama starts the tournament. Auburn's a 10 seed and the host team. They get Georgia. If Alabama and Auburn both win, they get the 1 and 2 seeds in the quarterfinals. It is single elimination. Both those teams should be in the NCAA tournament. no problem, as usually the case, for the SEC softball tournament. And the Stallions won again. All they are 6-0. We'll talk about the Stallions a little bit later on in the show. Big home game coming up Saturday at Protective Stadium, where they get A.J. McCarron in St. Louis coming in. But all the Stallions did was clinch a playoff spot with 4 regular season games still to play.
Covered again, too.
Covered again, too. So that's our headlines as we start things off. We'll jump into your best and worst of the weekend coming up. But LT has our mental health minute for the day.
Yeah, it is. May is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We're trying to help you guys out there if you're struggling a little bit. According to the American Psychological Association's report, stress in America, 63% of adults reported significant stress about money and overall economy, up from the 2019 survey where it was just 45%. Worrying about your finances can cause greater job dissatisfaction, negatively impact happiness, sleep, your hobbies. Rates suggest 1 in 10 are going to suffer from anxiety, depression, even substance abuse. Less than half are going to seek treatment. Look, talk to someone. Talk to your doctor today about depression if you are suffering. Also, anxiety. Start the conversation today. Very, very important. You get out in front of this. Again, I'm speaking from experience. Nothing to be ashamed of. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff. Some singular podcasts are going to be going out over the next few weeks. We'll give you more information about that. But again, talk to someone. Get help today.
Follow Sean Lunsford on Twitter @JLuntz.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelSonLaserVision.com.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mama Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, we're back with you on the Next Round. Hemp Hill brings you the best and worst of the weekend. Before you tell us about Hemp Hill, I want to give Brown
a chance to talk about the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. He hosts that now for how many years? 7, 8 years in a row?
I believe this was year 6 or 7. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. I can. Feinbaum did the 50th induction. They did a big deal, and I took over after Paul, and this was the 56th. So this is year number 6 for me.
6 years in a row. He does a fabulous job.
Nice.
Was that Saturday night?
Saturday night. Yep.
Okay.
That's why he came back early from the beach. I was at an Alzheimer event with my wife.
What time did you guys leave Saturday
I left
morning?
at 5:30.
Yeah, I woke at 7 and was out the door after a quick shower at 7:20.
Yeah, that's the thing. I walked into the living room. By the way, what an incredible! I mean, there wasn't a worse this weekend. The weather down there, Topeka Productions, Code R Productions, what they did for us down there, hosting us in Miramar, and everybody I talked to was just like, "This is." I talked to a couple from Albany, New York, and they were like, "We try to go to don't want to call it a festival. We go to a lot of music festivals. This is one of the best we've ever been to."
Cool.
But I walked into the living room at 7:30, and you guys were gone.
Long gone. Well, like, Grady, who was one of our hosts down there, young Grady. My only regret is I didn't get into the crystal clear water and do a little surfing with him. He was out there with the waves. He was complaining that the water was so calm he couldn't catch a big wave.
That's all I did. Saturday, I was at the beach from 11 to 5:30. 6.5 full hours, and I am completely burned, bad. And I reapplied like 4 times.
Wow.
Early in the season.
I was only out there for about 3.5 on Friday, but it was perfect weather. So, but Brownie, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, it's a special event. A couple of familiar names went in over the weekend.
They did. I mean, you guys would recognize a lot of the names. David Palmer, the Deuce, former Alabama great.
Does he still have his infamous necklace?
Did not have it on if he does.
I picture him always 20, 21 years old in my head, and I saw him with a little gray hair.
Gray beard.
And I was like, even the Deuce is a little old now.
Still small, and he hasn't grown any in height, but still looks like he could play, man. He's still
what
got
did the highlights look like?
Really good. They showed the one. It's one of
Got to be the 2-point conversion against Tennessee.
That was in there, and then
La Tech punt return.
That was in there, and then the Blockbuster Bowl punt return against Colorado, where it's that end zone shot, and the long snapper's breaking down to tackle him, and he breaks his ankles, and the whole crowd goes, ooh.
Yeah.
He was there. Mike Anderson, 2 Jackson Olin guys, by the way. A lot of Jackson Olin there. Mike Anderson was there. Scott Sullivan, former Auburn pitcher and pitched with the Reds. Fan of the show, lives down in Auburn. Could not have been nicer. Got to spend a lot of time talking to him. So a lot of great people got inducted.
Kerry Good
was the one I was going to mention. He was the Distinguished Alabama Sportsman. That's a special category they have. And so he comes out. Now, for those that don't know about Kerry, the former Alabama player, excuse me, is he's battling ALS and is confined to a wheelchair and really can only communicate through a computer.
Damn, I didn't know that.
You didn't? Oh, yeah.
So like Steve Gleason?
Yeah,
same thing.
Same thing. Yeah, just a tough situation for him.
Steve McMichael right now, too.
Mongo, yeah. And so they bring him out. There's a photo with Sarah Patterson, Scotty showing you. Sarah, who was there as a former inductee with Kerry. And so I start the show by introducing the first time the inductees. You bring out all the people that have been inducted. Terry Henley, our buddy, who I talked to some, John Meengelt, Gene Stallings, Dabo Swinney. Coach Swinney was there. All the people that have been inducted into the Sports Hall of Fame, and they sit on the second row. And then you say, now tonight's inductees, and you bring them out. So they saved Kerry for the last because, he had to come up the ramp in his wheelchair, and they had to kind of build a special spot for him to sit on the stage. So, everybody gives nice applause, and normally you hear like each family cheer when I say their name. And then I announced, in tonight's Distinguished American Alabama Sportsman, Kerry Good, and like a 2-minute standing ovation for Kerry when he comes out. And then later on, you specifically recognize that person. It's almost like they do their acceptance speech. And I did it again, and another standing ovation, and they play Kerry's video. And then Kerry has got, I don't know exactly how this works, but his speech was done through his computer. His speech to, his text-to-speech computer or whatever. And the crowd didn't know how to take it because comedy, when it's being read by a computer, is kind of hard to tell it's comedy. And they didn't know Kerry was being funny at first. And one of the first lines is, "I thank you all for being here. I've been dying to get into this Hall of Fame for quite a while now."
Oh.
And nobody laughed. And then he says, "Come on, that was a joke. You're all dying. At least laugh at my humor." So then people realized Kerry's trying to be funny, and it was a hilarious speech he gave. I mean, the fact that he still got any sort of good spirit and good humor is absolutely remarkable. And he said, Scott Myers, we all know Scott. He's the executive director of the Sports Hall of Fame. He said, "Scott told me I had 3 minutes for this speech. I reminded him that a doctor once gave me 2 years to live, and that was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you think I'm paying attention to your 3 minutes, I'm not." And everybody loved it.
Love it.
So he does his whole speech, gets another standing ovation. Just a phenomenal speech, great moment. I still get chills just thinking about it, the way the crowd reacted to him. But 9 years after he was given a 2-year
Life expectancy.
life expectancy. Oh, one of his other jokes was, people ask how I've lived so long. He said, "The doctor that gave me 2 years to live, I shot him, and a judge gave me 15 more." Wow. I mean, just a great sense of humor. And once people realized he was joking about it, people embraced it and were laughing. But he's got a tremendous spirit. He does another thing with an Auburn guy that's got ALS, and they try to raise money based on the rivalry. So it's really cool to see how people have embraced that.
What was his moment, Boston College?
Yeah, he got hurt in the second half, did he not? He had that big first half against BC.
And then he returned a kick to start the second half.
That's right. I think that's right, yeah.
Trying to keep Bama in the game against Doug Flutie's team.
Yeah.
And then he blew out his leg.
Yeah,
That was a home and home back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
How did they do against Boston College in Boston?
Lost both games,
I
if
think
I
so,
remember
yeah.
correctly. On the road up there, it was a icy day. I don't know. In my head, it was an icy day. It could have been September 8th for all I know.
Scott showed you the inductees there. Larry Chapman, the former Auburn player and Auburn Montgomery coach. The Deuce, Scott Sullivan. Roy Parker was one of the guys that was Randy Kennedy, one of Dunaway's former classmates there.
Yep.
So a good group. Coach Anderson you see there, and Kerry in the wheelchair. That is Robert Mathis on the far right of the screen there. The former Indianapolis Colt played. He and Dwight Freeney on that defensive front.
Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M. Yeah, great guy. Yeah.
A great class, a great thing in the state of Alabama, the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. And good to see a new class go in every year. Brownie does a great job with that. That's some of our best and worst of the weekend, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill LT.
Yeah, make that phone call. Make sure that AC unit is ready to keep up with this heat. I think it's going up to 87 on Wednesday or Thursday. 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And also by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA. Stay on top of your health. In fact, I got to make an appointment sometime in the next couple of months to go by and see our friends at UCA just to stay on top of everything. 205-930-0920, 930-0920. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between. Early detection, so important, guys. They've got 16 locations across Alabama. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. First off, hats off to one of the closest racing weekends in history. What is being called maybe the closest Kentucky Derby ever, and what is actually by time the closest NASCAR finish in NASCAR history. Both happened this weekend back on Saturday. There's the photo finishes in both of this, both on NBC. Saturday, Mystic Dan's wins the Kentucky Derby by literally a nose, 3 horses there. And then on Sunday, Kyle Larson wins in the closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history by .001 second over Chris Buescher there. So those are the photo finishes. By the way, after I talked on Friday about how the Kentucky Derby really seems off the radar of America sports.
Yeah,
largest handle ever.
It was
$210.7 million in bets over the weekend, up about $23 million from last year.
And you just wonder that photo finish, how different it would have been.
17.7 million viewers watched the Kentucky Derby, the most that watched it since 1989.
But I'm with you. I'd forgotten about it.
I didn't watch it. Did you guys watch it?
No, we were going to dinner and then to this event, and my buddy Ben jumped in the car. I was driving because I had drank plenty on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so I was going to have just one glass of wine to socialize, so I was going to be designated driver. And he jumps in and he goes, "Are you not listening to the Kentucky Derby?" And I said, "Buddy, it's 5:55. That thing usually goes about 5." He goes, "No, they're just now walking under the track."
Well, they had 22 horses,
I said,
right?
They pushed this back to 6 o'clock Central Time now? My goodness. But yeah, right at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we drive, we hear on the radio my old Kentucky home, and we get to the restaurant, walk into the restaurant, and I stand at the bar and watch the finish. They dragged that out. I assume it's 17.7 million just when the race is watching, because that can't be.
No, that can't be your average audience.
No.
Because to Lunsford's point, I always do watch the Kentucky Derby because I only have to invest 2 minutes. Now I got to time it out right and be somewhere.
You spend 2 hours trying to time out when it's going to actually happen.
But I only have to invest 2 minutes, and I guess it would be hard to say that's not the best Kentucky Derby ever. I mean, I don't know how you rate them up to,
I
would
assume so.
You basically had 3 horses on a photo finish. I don't know how that's not the best race you've ever had.
Coming into the Derby, it's not like you've got names. Like
you don't know who any of them are, really, hardly.
Yeah, they're not established horses.
Yeah.
But now Mystic Dan went off 18
they are on
to 1.
a different circuit.
Yeah, they are for people that follow horse racing. Now, used to, I would watch the next one. Preakness is next, right? I'd watch that because I cared about a Triple Crown. But once that's been done, I'm done with horse racing now. I don't care what Mystic Dan does. Good for him.
Well, I don't think he's going to run in the Preakness.
Is he not?
I don't think
Are
so.
they going to go ahead and cash in on that stud fee now?
He was an 18 to 1 underdog, which is a pretty big underdog to go win the thing.
I wouldn't run him again.
So his stock is about as high as it'll ever be.
So to Lance's point, like you were 18 to 1 win the Derby. Your chances of winning the Triple Crown are nil. So go ahead and be just a Kentucky Derby winner.
If he would have been on the other side of that nose.
Yep. But now his stud feeds are pretty good right there. That's some of the best and worst of the weekend. We'll get more of yours as we continue on today. I did want to point out how quick life comes at you. Caitlin Clark made her professional debut in an exhibition game over the weekend, WNBA preseason. She scored 21 points, 5 of those 3-pointers. They played the game in Arlington, and so already it just seems like yesterday she was playing for Iowa. Already she's wearing the Indiana Fever uniform.
I had no idea she was playing over the weekend. I think this shows you how much it's going to drop her exposure.
Well, it was WNBA preseason.
Yeah, it's preseason.
In front of a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, I was going to say they sold out the
I'm
place
just saying,
they played.
But like anytime she played at Iowa, it was all over every single channel that was covering sports. I didn't see anything about it this weekend.
I only saw a little clip of the highlights, and of her banging.
So
I got to say,
did she struggle though? I mean, I know you said 5 threes and 21 points, but
no, I don't think
she could have been 8 of 27.
I don't think she struggled.
Now the sellout is a 6,200 seat arena, so it should be noted that she didn't sell out like American Airlines Arena where the Mavs play.
Yeah, or Cowboy Stadium.
Or Cowboy Stadium. It was a 6,200 seat arena.
You brought this up last week. I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't put it on until this morning getting a workout in. But the Tom Brady roast, and I had no desire to see it. I know it's streamed live, but then I saw a reel this morning on Jeff Ross making a joke about Bob Kraft.
Yeah, I was going to do bigger picture on this a little bit, but no, let's do it right now. I will just real quickly on this. One of the reasons I love Tom Brady, I didn't really cheer for him his whole career because they were so dominant. But then he won a Super Bowl for my team. But I like his loyalty. And Robert Kraft, who had that massage parlor incident.
Can't do this to your Tom Brady, though.
Jeff Ross comes out there and he makes a joke about Robert Kraft's here, one of the best moves the organization has ever made. And everyone thinks it's Tom Brady's picking the six. He goes, do you want a massage today? Yes. And he looks over and he blows a kiss to Kraft. Now, this is live on Netflix, their first ever live roast. Brady gets up and you can hear him on the microphone. Don't say that bleep again.
Yeah.
And Ross goes, okay.
Yeah, like and the crazy thing, Brown, like I only watched like the first 30 minutes. I'm going to watch it tonight.
Oh, me too.
Because I thought it was going to be wholesome. I thought Tom Brady I thought he would be more like he was with Kraft. But Kevin Hart is the MC, and then your master of roast is Jeff Ross. And he's got a lot of Patriots, other comedians and stuff, Nikki Glazer, people that you would know. But when Kevin Hart comes out, goes after Giselle and her jiu-jitsu instructor.
Oh, yeah.
And so he doesn't say anything about that. And that's some other of his kids. And for him to get really upset about Bob Kraft, I thought that was a little weird. That's why I had no desire to watch it. I thought he would be too sensitive and things would be off the table. Outside of that, what I saw, it was ruthless.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Nikki Glazer, my favorite line was Tom Brady, really accomplished 7 rings.
Actually 8 now that Giselle gave one back.
That's a good
It's
line.
a great line.
The Julian Edelman, Aaron Hernandez line, though. I mean, now I've only seen clips. I have not watched the whole thing. Have you gotten to Julian Edelman's part yet?
No.
Okay, his Aaron Hernandez line made me laugh out loud.
Well, there was
I didn't see it coming from anywhere.
Because when Jeff Ross came out, he was wearing an O.J. Simpson. He said, "I'm straight from hell." He was like, "Aaron Hernandez wants to tell you guys hello."
Yeah. No, his O.J. Simpson, his New Jersey. OJ's New Jersey. It's flames.
Yeah.
Like he's burning in hell.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Then he ripped it off, and he was like, what did he say? Just like O.J., I'm here to kill a white bitch.
He did say that. He did say that.
Yeah, I mean, it was... I'm talking ruthless, and especially the stuff about Giselle banging the jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, I was blown away.
Yeah, Edelman's stuff on Belichick and Aaron Hernandez was incredible.
Our show today being brought to you by our friends at Storm. There's the jersey, by the way.
Are those flames? I don't think those are flames.
How stoned is Jeff Ross?
Oh, I think they are flames.
I thought it was blood.
Yeah, it is flames.
Yeah, I thought it was flames.
Okay, it is flames. I see it closer now. Yeah, it's flames.
Yeah, our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing bringing you part of the show today. Greg from Pell City, Greg Nelson. He'll get on the roof and make sure that you don't have any problems up there as that roof roasts in the summertime heat here in the South. The summertime heat, the wind, the thunderstorms like we had yesterday can just loosen one shingle is all it takes to get a water entry point. And then you got some trouble on your hands. Greg will get up there, give you that free, no-cost, no-obligation inspection. He's A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Absolutely fantastic. Call the number 542-3531, 542-3531. He's local crews are managed here locally, run locally. They're not some fly-by-night groups that are hired out to come and take care of your roof. Greg has these people on staff, and he takes care of you with that family feel. He and his wife own the company. Insurance companies trust him. Look him up on Facebook, too. Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. Back in a moment on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Birmingham, your Stallions take on former Crimson Tide quarterback A.J. McCarron and the St. Louis Battlehawks on Saturday, May 11th at 3 p.m. It's Braves Day. You get to meet Braves mascot Blooper and get a free custom baseball card. Enjoy the Fan Fest, on-field opportunities for the kids, and elite professional football. Tickets start at just $10. Buy yours today at theufl.com. With only 3 home games left this season, don't miss the chance to cheer on the unbeaten Stallions. Let's pack protective.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Started the show with Alabama's big pickup of their big man, their rim protector, Cliff Omoruyi. Say it for me, LT.
Morier.
At
least that's what I'm going with.
Big Cliff. Mark Sears, he's got until the end of May to drop out of the NBA draft and return to Alabama if he wants to. But he has been invited to the NBA Combine, which is, you say a lot of people go, but there are some people that don't get invited to the Combine. So.
Yeah, but I do think both rounds it's going to be 60 players selected, but I think it's about 60 they invite. Maybe it's 50.
Yeah. My best of the weekend was all the great stuff we saw and did down on the Gulf Coast. But when I get back, and I'm preparing for the show this morning, I get a little Micah Parsons, who's on a tour in Tokyo, is on my feed. Micah Parsons versus a sumo wrestler, a champion sumo wrestler. Who do you think wins? Look at Micah get after him.
I'm going to go sumo wrestler. He knows the
that's
game.
An undersized sumo wrestler.
Yeah, it's not a huge
but
guy.
He can't get past him, which makes me wonder two things in professional sports. We'll get a replay here in a second. Now, he gets a little holding here if this was football.
That's what I was going to say. I've always thought sumo wrestlers could be good offensive linemen.
That's what I was going to ask. Why are they not goalies and offensive linemen? NHL goalies and offensive linemen.
You want me to give you my prediction?
See, there's a hold, though. He's holding there. So I don't know if he could keep Micah out if he's not holding.
And this is just a stereotype. Sumo wrestlers seem like they lay around, they eat a bunch of sushi, and they drink a lot of sake, and they don't really want to work out.
You really think that's stereotypical?
Did you see Micah took him?
Maybe.
Micah took him out the second time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, what if Micah blows his knee on that carpet?
I know. That's all I could think of. I bet they're quicker than you think they are, though, Lance.
No, I think they're great athletes. I'm just saying, how much do they have to work to be great at their craft? Probably a lot, but, when I see them roll in with a diaper on, and most of them, they're in shape fat.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of power behind him. Micah Parsons is a strong dude, and he flat stones him. I know you say he's holding, but even holding, Micah Parsons can't move him back.
Yeah, but right here he does.
Yeah.
Watch this. Boom, boom, and now he's got him. He's got him off.
He's got him beat there. Hey, ball's already out now though. Dunaway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Oh, he picked him up by the diaper.
Yeah,
the belt.
I think the four of us watched a combined 0 minutes of the World Games. I think when it was here 2 summers ago.
I did some.
I don't know.
Okay.
I watched rock stars of sumo.
The highest demand for a ticket I heard was sumo wrestling.
Absolutely.
And so talking to some people that saw those guys in person, they were talking about how massive and how quick they were.
Yeah. So there you go. That's one of my best of the weekend. Keep those rolling in. Brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Show being brought to you by Bandwagon Sports. We went to dinner down near the Bandwagon in Cahaba Heights, and I told the guy, I said, that right there, if you're looking for a old school local sports feel, that's where you go to buy your gear, man.
Well, especially All-Star season, they can make your team look the best and play the best. You're going to play good if you look good, right? If you've already got your vision for your team uniforms, Bandwagon can help you. If you don't know at all what you want to do and you're starting from scratch, Bandwagon can help you. Their friendly staff walks alongside you throughout the design, creation, sizing, and more. Not just uniforms, they can create any custom apparel. Whether your business is looking for their newest polo or your all-star moms want matching tank tops, check out their website, bandwagonsports.com, for all your custom apparel needs. Next round, jump on the bandwagon, bandwagonsports.com.
Mike Amori, he says, Rutgers has it phonetically, Amori.
Yeah, I just didn't have the E's. Amore is the way I say it.
Well, I went back and watched 3 different Rutgers games from 3 different broadcast crews, and it was pronounced 3 different ways.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm the only one. That's why I simply go Cliff now. Give us some more of the listeners' best and worst of the weekend.
Andy's worst of the weekend, you're going to have to weigh in on this one for me. Dunaway. His worst of the weekend, Alabama softball. Murphy needs to go. He's firing Pat Murphy. Program has gotten lazy and stagnant, according to Andy.
Yeah.
Are they lazy? They got swept by Auburn, right? Is that
they
what
did
happened?
not get swept. They
Jim,
won the opener.
Okay,
Alabama won the middle game. They lost the opener and the finale, the rubber match yesterday. They are the 9th seed, which is a rare air for Alabama to be the 9th seed in this SEC tournament, which is in Auburn, starting on
the play-in game, first round on Tuesday, and then the Wednesday game.
So they got no shot at winning this.
They rarely win it, actually. They've won it in 2012 and then sometime recently, but there was like a decade gap in between.
What are they ranked nationally? Because I heard this morning just randomly that Oklahoma State finally beat Oklahoma in a series in softball.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma State is third nationally, but they're third in the Big Ten as well.
It's more than Mike Gundy can do, by the way.
Should they fire that lady too? It's past her back.
Nah,
Gasaway?
No, but I thought the funny
thing
thing was they're third nationally, but they're third in the Big 10 or Big 12 in standing. So where is Alabama nationally?
They were in the top 25. They may have fallen out with a couple of the series. They have not. They have lost a lot of SEC series this year, like 2-1.
But you don't think he needs to get fired?
Oh, no way.
I mean, if Kalen DeBoer's daughter would give up her Washington days.
I thought that would have happened by now.
Yeah, it probably will at some point.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
A lot of love for Jeff Ross. I brought him up the other day, and you guys were a little cold to Jeff Ross. Rockstar and Lance were a bit cold to him.
No, it wasn't. I'm the one who said he's great. I said he's he's the roast guy. That's
what
he does.
Yeah, he's not my favorite on some of the panels.
See, that's what I apologize then. I thought you were negative because I said I love the way he does those roasts.
No, because I said he has like 7 comedy. He roasts officers in prisons. He does audio. I mean, it's amazing. Like, that is his job. He's a roaster. He's a funny comedian. I think he has a voice for an animated cartoon.
Yeah.
He's got a great voice. He lost his hair to alopecia. He was upset with Jada Pinkett Smith thing because of Will Smith. He went off on that. That was interesting.
Oh, I didn't know he lost his hair to alopecia.
Yeah, he has alopecia.
Okay. Landmine Believer says Gilbert Gottfried used to be great on those roasts.
Yeah,
hard to listen to.
Filthy.
Though.
Yeah,
Nikki Glazer has me every time she does.
Well, hey, this is the filthiest I've seen Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he looked like he was a little on the wrong side of the alcohol meter.
You think so?
Maybe, boy. I'm telling you, he came out on fire. Again, I watched until the only reason I put it on is because I wanted to see because some people thought Tom Brady was kidding, and I wanted to see when he got in Jeff Ross's ear, he wasn't kidding. That's when I stopped it, and that was only like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
AK told myself I was going to keep up with the Stallions this year and root for them. I haven't watched a single game, he says. So you did not follow up on that.
Yeah.
They're halfway through the season.
It's going to jinx me 12-3 on the UFL.
Yeah. Well, he says they do a terrible job of advertising when the games will be on. They do. Well, it's 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday every week. I thought it was an early and then afternoon every week. Is that not right?
They do some games going on at the same time now.
Why? They've only got 4 games a weekend.
Yeah, there's some.
No.
I don't think. Are you sure about that?
There was.
I mean, I've been. I think I'm one of the few that's been following it for the last month, and it's 2 Saturdays. Normally, well, it depends. They'll do a 3 o'clock and a 7 o'clock sometimes. This weekend it was 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
I think it was either last Saturday or Saturday before last. I thought 2 were going at the same time. Maybe it was a weather delay that forced it.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But at this pace, I don't think the UFL is going to have a market because there's just not enough people talking about it. And you've got a great broadcast crew.
Yeah, I don't know what the TV ratings are that would back you up on that. I haven't looked recently. I can try.
I bet we go over 20,000 in attendance Saturday, 3 o'clock, Protective Stadium, 3 p.m. Saturday. St. Louis with A.J. McCarron at quarterback and the unbeaten Stallions here at Protective Stadium. I bet we go over 20,000 fans.
You're probably right.
Yeah, I was going to say noon and 3 on Saturday, 11 and 2 on Sunday, which is where I thought all of them were. I do know they play some, though, in prime time. So I got to be honest, I'm with him. I haven't really sought it out to watch it. I haven't watched a single game. I watched a little bit of the Stallions at Memphis, and they were so far ahead, I just turned it off. They blew everybody out.
Yeah, they're a really dominant coaching staff right there with Skip Holtz and them right now. And they got 2 good quarterbacks this week. It was Adrian Martinez this time. All he did was go out and throw for 368 yards and 4 touchdowns in their win over Memphis, 39-21. 3 o'clock this week at Protective Stadium. If you want to jump in there and get that 3 o'clock Protective Stadium. AJ's back in town, this time for the bad guys against the Birmingham Stallions. We'll enjoy that Saturday down at Protective Stadium. The show being brought to you in part, Brownie, by Johnston RV Center, johnstonrvcenter.com.
I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. And on both those lots, they have adjusted all of their pricing, and they are so confident it's the best price you can find anywhere. They'll beat any price you bring them nationwide on a comparable RV. That's a nationwide guarantee. Also, don't forget RV warranty forever. Make sure you got a lifetime warranty on everything new and qualifying used. You can find out more on both the lots. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
If you're into fashion, tonight is your night. The Met Gala going on tonight.
All right.
If I would need to go to my friends at Way to Wellness if I was going to wear some of those outfits that people wear to the Met Gala. What do you think the ticket is? Individual ticket to get into the Met Gala. These people pay to go.
I would say $10,000.
I wouldn't pay 25 cents. I'm going to say it's $25,000.
It is $75,000 a ticket to go to the Met Gala.
You know what they say? There is a fool born every minute.
Yeah, so that's happening tonight. So your feed will be, your social media feeds will be cluttered with outrageous outfits. Tonight. Some I like, some I think are just there for show. That's happening this evening. I don't know if the Meltdown will talk about the Met Gala or not. Coming up at 2 o'clock today. Way to Wellness, though, gets you back in shape, jumpstarts your weight loss, controls some blood pressure numbers, some cholesterol numbers. I'm so appreciative of Leslie and her board-certified team because they literally saved my life once. I was off the chart with both cholesterol and blood pressure, and they got me back to living right. They can do it for you, too. All you have to do is go to their website at planforme.com, planforme.com. This is the crew up here taking the free no-cost tour there. Free evaluation. You get that as well. There's no design plan. It's a different plan for everyone, right? It's not the same plan, no cookie cutter plan. They'll specifically design one for you. The Meltdown guys are using it right now too. You can jump in and find out if Way to Wellness can help you live healthier here in 2024. Planforme.com. Planforme.com. Your journey to healthy living.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Regions Tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Regions Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. And how about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 gets going today. LTDNB with you, the rest of the gang up here. My buddy Chris Marler, Vern Funquist on social media, made this point. I brought up Charlie Condon, the Georgia player, first baseman, who could be the first overall pick in the Major League Draft coming up in a few weeks. If he is, this is from Chris Marler. I have not checked this, but I trust Vern Funquist. If Charlie Condon goes first overall in the Major League Baseball draft, that would mean Georgia, within the last 5 years, has had the first overall pick in the Major League Baseball, the NFL, and the NBA drafts.
That's amazing.
They got nothing out of the first overall pick in the NBA draft. I mean, not his fault. I'm just saying, as a team, they got nothing out of it.
At Georgia, but he is right now.
Oh, no. I mean,
tonight
at Georgia.
on the verge of possibly putting the former champs on an 0-2
Well,
hole.
I don't know if you saw this, but I saw the conversation this morning that, who was it that said that he was the closest to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is anybody right now at 22 years of age.
Well, crazy that he just tied a Kobe Bryant record. The only other person in NBA history to score back-to-back 40-point playoff games at age 22 or under is Kobe Bryant and Anthony Edwards, who did it on Saturday night. T-Wolves beat the Nuggets 1-0. T-Wolves lead it in Denver. Game 2 tonight at 9 o'clock. And a chance for the T-Wolves to go up 2-0 and going back to Minnesota.
Yeah, I've got both of those games at Lance's like right now. But I'll tell you, man, if you haven't watched Anthony Edwards play, from where he was, a lot of people, including me, I was like, he's a little undersized. Guys his size typically don't go number 1 overall. And the fact that they couldn't even bust 500 under Tom Crean, I was like, I don't know. But this is why NBA scouts and executives get paid the money they do, because a lot of people saw greatness in him, and boy, it's come to fruition.
Our friends at Redmond Vodka bringing us this part of the show.
8 times distilled, gluten-free. Pick up a bottle this weekend. One of the great faces behind it, Charles Barkley. If you haven't seen that interview with Shannon Sharp, Barkley really opens up. Always a transparent guy, but some really cool, interesting revelations that come out of that. But stop in, pick up a bottle of Redmond Vodka, 8 times distilled, gluten-free, available in 22 states. Ask for it by name. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. It's Redmond Vodka.
We mentioned General Booty last week on the show. He was in the portal from Oklahoma. Iowa is after him.
Well, I'd run the other way if I were General Booty.
Yep. Oregon had a big pickup weekend in the portal. They got top 5 defensive tackle from Michigan State, Derek Harmon, to Oregon, and they got former Alabama DB Peyton Woodyard to Oregon as well. So the Ducks with a couple of more portal pickups on the defensive side. Dan Lanning has hit the portal hard on the defensive side.
He has, yeah. It's interesting that's where it has been. Now, they also got Evan Stewart on the offensive side, but still, he's really working on that defense. I don't know if he's looked at it and like, hey, Big Ten, we're just going to play defense differently, or if it's just a numbers game, if they just had the losses there.
Simeon Barron, another Michigan State defensive tackle, another guy who was listed top 10 in the portal, went to Miami. Another pickup for the Hurricanes in the portal. So
Lance loves them.
Oregon, Miami, and Ole Miss have done some portal work this offseason.
I don't know if you guys are noticing, but the closer we get, and what are we now, 100 days out?
109 days.
The closer we get, the more people are jumping on this Miami bandwagon.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work in the portal. We'll jump into our phone call from Jeff from Madison. Hadn't had him in a while after I tell you about our friends at Precision Sports Medicine, getting you back in the game. If you get up in age a little bit and you start running around the beach like I did this weekend, you may pull a back muscle, tweak something. Maybe you're working in the yard or playing pickup with the guys, or a little golf swing mishap. Whatever gets you sideways physically, Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics can get you back to work, back to play. They'll diagnose you and then walk you through the rehab process. 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Make an appointment there. Get all the information you need to know as part of the Brookwood Baptist Health System. precisionsportsortho.com. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. precisionsportsortho.com. I'm trying to say orthopedic care better together. It's our friends at Precision Sports. Jeff and Anderson is next with us. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm middling.
Yeah.
Feel my age a bit. I don't even have enough stamina for my AI girlfriend anymore.
Wow.
LT, you know, per your Mystic Fifth Hour y'all had the other day, you don't think David Bowie sounds British on the song Major Tom?
Well, yeah, because he's talking a little bit on Major Tom, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but he sounded Brit the whole song to me on that one. But
I don't know. Just as a kid, man, listening to Australians, British singers, I never really picked up on the
kind of
accent.
sounded Brit.
Yeah, no, I'm with Lance on this one though. Like I've never thought.
Most of them,
Yeah.
I agree on that. But Beatles kind of did, but I guess they were really.
Yeah, and I actually heard some Bowie. You know, it's one of those when on a road trip, I just kind of jump around Sirius XM a lot of times. And I heard Modern Love yesterday, and I don't really know if I got a bunch of British out of
I
that.
think Rockstar gave me this Scottish guy one time. Rockstar David something. Do you know who I'm talking about?
David Gray?
Yeah, is he Scottish?
I think he's British.
British, and I can hear it a little bit with him.
He's the singer of Babylon.
Yeah.
I've been reading this great book on helium lately. I can't put it down.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was too bad.
It's terrible.
I've got a source that says that there's a poster of you crab walking down Talladega track that's breaking sales records at Aliceville.
The old
You getting
poster.
any royalties?
Yeah, I am not. They can donate that back to the commissary.
You think you're like Fuzzy Britches, somebody's digging out.
They're digging behind me.
Brown's picture over it.
Yeah, that's what if there was any of them being used to cover up tunnels. Don't know if y'all like Westerns, but I saw one this weekend that's good. I highly recommend. It's called Old Henry. It's just a couple of years old, but it is excellent.
It's just a couple of years old?
Yeah. I think his name, Tim Blake Nelson.
Yep.
I think that's his name. Man, he is so good in this. Everybody in it's great, but I recommend it if you like Westerns. Two things that I've heard lately that, to me, defines 2024 sports. And I want to see which one you think most defines 2024 sports. First, I heard the classic phrase, a tradition like no other, the Masters on CBS, also streaming on Paramount Plus. And then, and the second thing, okay, let me see if I got this straight. Bama filled a need with a player from the portal that came about because they lost a player that entered the portal, and they're the same person with Caden Proctor.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a bit confusing. Yeah.
But I did. I used the phrase when he was rumored to be coming back to Alabama, boomerang effect. You leave and you come back to the same school in the portal without playing for another school.
Okay, boomerang.
I like that.
Works.
I can
Hey,
live with
Scott,
that.
can you pull that graphic again? Look at our Jeff from Anniston graphic. I've never seen this before. Witness protection, basically.
It is the old silhouette.
Yeah, young hands.
Hey, Jeff, randomly, do you believe in time travel? There's a reason I asked this. Okay. Well, I mean, I saw this, like, I get a lot of weird algorithms that pop up, but there was this one over the weekend where this dude walks into somebody's shed out back of their house, and there's surveillance on it, and the cops come because the guy calls cops. They can't find the guy, and then the next day, same surveillance, a different guy walks out.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Interesting. Maybe that's something other than time travel.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, would you rather be Mr. Irrelevant or the pick before?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant.
I think I had too, yeah.
You get a free trip.
Yeah.
You used to get a Rolex.
Yeah.
People
And
talk about
and
you.
you probably got the same chance of making the team as the guy before you. You may as well get something out of it.
But
right?
I think there's more focus on you. Like, I think if you're the Turk and you're the guy that's dropping, cutting guys, if it's between Mr. Irrelevant and somebody else, you might keep Mr. Irrelevant just because he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I think. On soccer, just real quick, I knew Miami got messy. I had no idea they also had Luis Suarez. I mean, that's not even fair. That's men amongst boys right there. I think the other day Messi had 5 assists and a goal in a game.
Yeah, it was over the weekend. He had 1 goal and 5 assists in the first half.
Suarez had a hat trick.
Wait, so what are those scores right now?
6-2 was that one.
Yeah, that's a blowout, too, isn't it?
I mean, just 3 or 4 years ago, those were 2 of the very, very best in the world, and they're in the MLS. That's amazing.
Hey, LT and I, when our night was done the other night, watched a movie you would enjoy. I Care a Lot.
Jeff, I think you would like that one. It's a dark
Really?
comedy. Dark comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage, Rosamund Pike, and apparently it's a scam that's going on right now with our healthcare system where people can people can take advantage of the elderly by basically taking control of their estate, and you're their caretaker, and then you get access to all of their money. It's really a disturbing concept. I thought it was good for like the first hour, and then I thought it lost a lot of steam. But
I enjoyed it all the way through. I couldn't go to sleep.
And the name of it again was what?
I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot. Okay.
What was it on Netflix?
It was on Netflix. Peter Dinklage is a crime boss in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I finished in the top 0.5% on the March Madness on the ESPN.
Well, that's impressive.
The bad thing, it was the women's bracket.
Well, still. Was there a prize?
That's true. No, I didn't. It wasn't number one, but still. And, of course, the men's, I finished in the bottom 40% or whatever.
Well, they probably have perfect brackets in the women's, right?
They do not.
I don't think so. But, and just a little side note, my haircutting lady, I can't make myself say stylist. Her shop has had a for rent sign for like 3 months, and I hate trying to find a new hair cutter. And my hair now, I look like a old picture of Todd Hamilton of Aerosmith. I'm devastated.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a clue.
So you look like
Todd Hamilton of Aerosmith.
Can you pull Todd Hamilton?
Which is also Garth from Wayne's World. If you think Todd Hamilton, that's
That's about right, man.
So Todd Hamilton of Aerosmith is going to be
Earlier. Yeah.
Okay. Don't say earlier because
I just saw a caller screen for the first time. It said Jeff from Aniston, topic stuff.
Better career. I'm going to give you a murder of crows. Sheryl Crow, Black Crows, or Counting Crows?
Say it again.
Sheryl Crow, Black Crows, or Counting Crows?
I love that. My favorite there is the Black Crows. I think Sheryl Crow probably reached higher heights than any of them.
Counting Crows for me.
No, I would go, I thought most talented Black Crows, but I think Sheryl Crow, she had like 10 top 10 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, commercially, she had more success than the combination of both.
Counting Crows had a number one song, though.
Sheryl Crow was also, if I remember, she was a background singer for, was it Michael Jackson?
Somebody
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. She was
Melissa
a
Etheridge.
songwriter first, and then she became like a performer.
Yeah, Counting Crows, Sheryl Crow, Black Crows.
Okay, so we're looking at Tom Hamilton. Do you have that stringy doll hair like he does?
I'm thinking of I think there's the Night in the Ruts album where he looked like he had a helmet almost on. My hair's getting so
very specific,
long and goofy. Yeah.
What we're looking at is pretty long and
goofy.
Yeah.
Well, he early on always had that kind of weird look, like he had a helmet on.
I do picture you in black and white though, so that fits you, that album cover.
I hate going to the barber so much. I always feel so weird sitting there letting a stranger cut my hair, and this really puts me in a bind. She didn't answer my text, she had that for rent sign. So I even sent a joke like, "Oh, are you really retired, or are you just being lazy?" And I thought, "Damn, what if she died or has cancer and her son's reading this right now?" So I quit texting.
That'd be called a Dunaway at that point.
Is there contact? Is it called hair cutter on your phone?
I'm thinking of doing it myself for long. I really am. But, I don't think we'll
the
make
picture
it.
I'm looking at, you couldn't do any worse.
Well, it's probably correct.
Hey, it looks like Jonathan Banks up front, Rocky.
It does, and that is Joe Perry.
Oh, that is so weird.
That's Joe Perry.
Okay, now we're all over the place, but right above it says Vince Neil falls at a cruise show. Was that this weekend?
No, I have no idea.
I don't think we'll make it till then. You have to admit, if we made the year 69, dudes would always be walking around chuckling, wouldn't they?
They would on their hoverboards.
Yes.
Do y'all have any crazy little tics or mannerisms or habits that you just can't quit no matter what? Like,
right now, I can't stop raising my right leg in photos.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Very sorority-like.
Mine is like, when I sign my name, even on those little machines or whatever, at the end of my signature, I have to I guess you call it a flourish with your hand, how you throw it up. When you're.
Yeah.
And I literally cannot make myself not do that.
Interesting.
Do y'all have any other thing like?
Yeah, I kind of do that same thing. I basically do a squiggly line on those signature lines.
I did see where there's somebody, I don't know if he's part of the Dalai Lama, but to protest peace, he's had his right arm in the air for like the last 49 years, and his arm has died.
Oh, no.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's supposed to be a legitimate thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
I'm going to tell him the protest ain't working. It's
Yeah,
49 years in. I think you give up at some point.
All right, last one. What percent would y'all guess that Ohio State or Georgia's in the title game? And what percent both?
95 that one of the two, and I would go 40% that both are.
I'd go 90% that one of the two is in there, and I'll go 33% that both is there.
I think Jim might be. Those might be good numbers there.
Okay, and right now, and I'll let you go, what's the next three teams with the best chance? And I'll talk to y'all later,
College
guys.
teams?
Thanks. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Jeff.
To play for the college national
I would go
championship.
Alabama.
In front of Ohio State?
Well, no.
Or are you just doing three in general?
I thought
He
the
said
question
next
was
three after
Ohio State and Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alabama, Texas.
Yeah, Alabama, Texas, and
Oregon.
No, that's where it gets interesting.
Yeah. I just don't like. I saw Mincy over the weekend put like Ole Miss. He loves Ole Miss at 14-1 to win a national championship this year. I got to see a little movement before on both Oregon and Ole Miss. I don't know.
But you do feel good about it being a SEC team, right?
I do, but my pecking order would be Georgia, Alabama, and then Texas.
And then I still would go another SEC team at that point. Likely Ole Miss. Could be LSU, but likely Ole Miss.
I don't know. That's really tough.
It really is. It really is that next team there. Appreciate Jeff's phone call there. While we're talking college football, before LT tells us about Michelson, I'll remind you that and this is going to move quickly now, okay? So I need you to do it today, tomorrow, because we may be voting before the weekend, all right? But it's time to vote for the 40 and 40 countdown. You want to be a voter in our preseason 40 and 40 college football poll? Sign up now. Just go to nextroundlive.com. Lunsford has it set up. Little T's pushing it out on social media. Nextroundlive.com. We'll sift through it and make a few selections there. And even if you were part of the voting last year or any of the other 13 years, do me a favor and sign up again. Fill out the information so we got your contact there so I can stay in contact with you. It's the 40 and 40 college football poll starting soon, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. If you want to be a voter in our preseason rankings, we're going to move quickly this week. So jump in there today and tomorrow, and you got a link right there in the chat room from Little T. Jump in there and be a voter today. Tell us about Michelson, LT.
Seems like everything going up in price, not for LASIK at Michelson Laser Vision. Doctors Jennifer and Mark Michelson have held the cost of LASIK steady at the pre-inflation pricing from 2 years ago. Call 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about that pre-inflation pricing. Also, a lot of people are getting those tax refunds from Uncle Sam. Use it on something that will last you a lifetime. How about LASIK from our friends at Michelson Laser Vision? 205-969-8100. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Hey, also don't forget the golf card. It's still out there. I ran into two separate conversations over the weekend. One had just played Limestone Springs on the golf card, said it was fantastic. One had just played the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club, had not played out there in a while, and was like, I was excited to get back out there, and it delivered for him. So there you go. Just over the weekend, two people getting in 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club, all presented by Urology Centers of Alabama. It's $247 value, just $99. The next round deluxe golf cart's $119. All 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive next round golf t-shirt, koozie golf tees, and a sticker. No restrictions. Card is good through October 2024. Supplies are limited. Get your golf cart now. Nextround.store. That is nextround.store.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923. You
could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mama Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Memories are weird. I could have swore it was a Saturday, but one of the last baseball games that were non-playoff, non-Tampa Bay Rays, I remember watching in its entirety. I thought it was a Saturday, but it was a Wednesday, Lunsford tells me. 26 years ago today, Kerry Wood struck out 20 batters.
Astros?
Against the Astros? Because he pitched for the Cubs, obviously.
Yeah, I thought it was Astros.
I don't have who it was, but it seems like it was the Astros or some team like that. 20 strikeouts. I just remember him going up there, you know, and now that as I tell the story, maybe it was a Roger Clemens one that I did it, because we talk about no-hitters, and Brown doesn't think no-hitters are that, but striking out 20,
that's far more impressive than a no-hitter.
It's such a small group.
Yep.
Kerry Wood did it 26 years ago. In that group, Roger Clemens did it in 86 and 96. Kerry's was 1998. Randy Johnson in 2001, and then Max Scherzer in 2016. That's it in Major League history.
That's crazy.
And that was in 9. Those are all in 9 innings. 21 is the record, but I think it took 11 or 16. It was extra innings to get to 21. That's the record.
Well, getting swing and misses just in Major League Baseball is tough. But when you're striking out 20 of 27, that's incredible.
Yeah, and as Brad points out, he was a scorer's decision away from a no-hitter, maybe a perfect game too.
I mean, if you strike out 20, you're well on the way to a perfect game. I mean,
yeah. That's just a rarity to see the 20 strikeouts, and it happened.
Brad's saying greatest game ever pitched. Yeah, it was against the 100-win Astros. He seems like a guy just based on those two posts.
I mean, if it's 100-win Astros and you struck out 20 of them, You're in the argument for greatest game ever pitched. I would agree.
Wednesday day game, and I feel like I watched it happen. But maybe
I can remember it happening. I know I didn't watch it, but I just remember people going crazy about him, rightfully so, about him striking out 20 batters.
LT, tell us about HydroLive, and then I want to jump into a little NFL conversation here, and we'll jump off talking about the Cowboys first.
Yeah, IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. Boost your immune system with HydroLive therapy. IV therapy treatments are packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Members rewarded with deep discounts. You can save 50% off regular pricing for all services, plus receive one free IV bag per month. With the impressive savings and benefit members receive, you recoup the IV membership fee in just one visit. They're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., 2 locations to serve you, one in Homewood, one on Doug Baker Boulevard right there in Hoover. For more information, hydrolivetherapy.com. And when you're in there, make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. Get that 20% off from our friends at HydroLife Therapy.
Before the NFL, there was one guy you guys were all interested in, all of our viewers, Bryce Foster, 3-year starter at center for Texas A&M. He visited LT's USC Trojans over the weekend. So that could be a destination to keep an eye out for him over the weekend. 3-year starter for the Aggies, could be with USC as they make the jump to the Big Ten. Now a little NFL conversation. First, what the Dolphins did Friday afternoon as our show was ending, they pick up Odell Beckham Jr. To Miami, a 1-year, $3 million deal. And Odell doesn't have to be the 1 or the 2 with that Miami roster. He'll play the 3-hole opposite of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Brownie, you first. What do you think of your Dolphins getting Odell Beckham?
I'm excited about this. I mean, I think he's an excellent 3. Miami loves speed. You get more speed there, and you've got an experienced, talented, still gas in the tank receiver as your number 3. That's an exceptionally good receiving core for Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, look, I agree. You know, watching Odell 3 years ago kind of make that comeback with the Rams, I'll stick with it. They end up winning the game, but they blow out Cincinnati. You couldn't cover him towards the end of the season. And then the NFL was doing their top 10 games of this past season, and the number 3 game was when my Rams went on the road against Baltimore and ended up losing in overtime. And Odell was great for Baltimore in that game. I think the way he would complement Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, knowing that he doesn't have to be, it's going to open things up for those guys. Yep. Y'all's offense, if it stays healthy, is going to be borderline unstoppable.
I hope you're right. It certainly has been at home. I mean, it's a tough one at home, Dunaway, but getting that offense to travel has been a little bit tricky for Miami at times. So, maybe that helps. I don't know.
The other story that I'm fascinated by is what the Cowboys and Dak Prescott are going through. This is at a children's cancer fund benefit back in April. That's just last month. Dak Prescott on his future with the Cowboys and the contract negotiations right now with Dallas.
I don't have any fears.
So you believe you'll be here forever playing based on your conversations with Jerry?
I'm not going to say I fear being here or not. I don't fear either situation, to be candid with you. I love this game and love to play and love to better myself as a player and my teammates around me. Right now it's with the Dallas Cowboys. It's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and that's the focus. And after the season, we'll see where we're at, and if the future holds that, then if not, we'll go from there.
So that was just a few weeks ago, back in April. Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, reporting over the weekend that Dak in contract talks with the Cowboys right now, the word he used was non-existent. And they right now are willing to take the $61 million cap hit to not renegotiate and sign him to a long-term deal going into the season. Then he would become a free agent. What is also on the Cowboys burner that you may not be paying attention to is that C.D. Lamb also becomes a free agent if they don't get a long-term deal worked out after this season. So they got some work to do in Dallas.
Typically Dallas is an organization under Jerry Jones where they draft, they develop, and they pay their players. This is a little surprising because Brown has always said if you get a mid-tier quarterback, you're kind of handcuffed to that guy.
And that's who you got right there, don't you think?
I think Dak's better than that.
You think he's better mid-tier? Yeah, so you would put him
I'll give you an example.
In the 5 to 10 category?
He gets so much criticism because he's Dallas's quarterback and they haven't won a championship. If Justin Herbert, what he is doing in L.A., was the quarterback at Dallas right now, same situation. He would be the most criticized quarterback in the NFL. Like, I don't think he's as good as Justin Herbert, but I think he's close.
Well, Justin Herbert has 0 postseason wins, and that is going to get you criticized in Dallas. No matter how good you are, they expect you to win postseason games.
Everything's under a microscope more than Dallas.
There's no
absolutely.
doubt. There's no doubt.
So if you had a choice, Dak or Justin Herbert?
I would lean Justin, but I mean, I don't think it's like a massive difference.
Dak or Trevor Lawrence?
Dak.
I would too.
Yeah.
I think I would too. So you guys would have him
top 10.
Top 10. So 5 to 10 probably is where you'd have Dak.
Yeah, probably 8 to 10, maybe 8 to 12.
So, and this is what I've always said about this. When you've got a guy that's 10 to 15, is what I normally talk about, but you've got him 8. What are the odds of you drafting a better guy than that?
Not
especially
good at all.
where they normally pick, and that's the other thing you got to consider here is where does Dallas normally pick with Dak?
24th this year.
Yeah, and that's normally where they're picking with Dak because he's good enough to get you there.
So let me ask you this though: of all the quarterbacks that were just drafted, 6 of them in the first round, knowing what you know with Dak, how many would you take Dak over?
All of them.
I
think
wouldn't.
I would too.
I would 100% all of them. I know because I know what Dak Prescott is, and it's such a gamble in the NFL.
I think 3 will end up being better than Dak, but I would take 2 just based on upside.
But do you know which 3?
I don't. I mean, the ones
That's
I
the
feel
problem.
are Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix, but could be completely wrong and strike out on all 3. But just based on where he is in age, I would take one of those guys in front.
Isn't it? I mean,
not Michael Penix, but I would take the other 2.
I mean, how far into his career is Dak?
2015 was his senior year at State. Is that right?
Yeah, so and I think he was 22 or 23, so he's early 30s. I mean, he's got 5-6 years
He's got another good contract left in it, yeah. For somebody will sign him to a really good contract.
Yeah.
And it may not be Dallas, but somebody will. You lay him at free agency, and I think, he's not going to break the bank, I don't think. I'm trying to think of a team that just a quarterback. I'll give you one. What if Arizona plays another year and they just realize Kyler Murray's not it? So you give Dak to Arizona.
He's a better quarterback.
You
than
wouldn't
Kyler
like that in
Murray.
your division.
No.
Yeah.
Right?
Rams have had pretty outside of last year.
What if the Rams, Dak Prescott, who follows up Matt Stafford?
I'm all about it.
No problem.
No problem.
I'll go to your division. What if the Saints?
I wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't like it, would you?
Would have hated for him to be a Falcon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's better than Kirk Cousins.
He's better than Kirk Cousins. Falcons would be better with Dak Prescott for dang sure.
That's why if I'm Dak, it's almost like, get me the hell out of Dallas.
Yeah.
Like, why am I dealing with all this bullshit just because it's a dysfunctional organization that hasn't won a championship in almost 30 years? I can go out, get Kirk Cousins-like money, 4 years, $180 million, probably more, probably $200 million. And I don't have the pressure that I've got in Dallas.
Yeah. Daniel says Dak's a future Raider.
I could see that.
If he was a Raider this year, their playoff chances would be a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Got some talent.
No, I mean, I think it's a weird deal where for some reason Jerry has and look, Jerry's not making the best decisions either. We talked about one Friday where they are now paying Ezekiel Elliott on 2 different contracts. The one that they let him walk on and the one they've got him on now, and they're paying him $9 million a year. $9 million a year, he said, was too expensive for Derrick Henry. Well, you're paying Ezekiel Elliott $9 million a year. So if it's too expensive for Derrick Henry, it was certainly too expensive for Elliott.
He's a shell of himself, too, Zeke Elliott.
Yeah.
Shell of himself.
I thought you were saying Jerry Jones is,
No,
which
for
may also be the case.
4 years, Zeke was really, really good.
Well, this is the question I wrote down, a note here to ask you guys. Do the Cowboys win a Super Bowl in Jerry Jones's life?
I wouldn't. I'd say no.
No.
How old is Jerry? I mean, those years are.
I mean, I would give Jerry 9.5 would be my over-under on the planet. Boy, I hate doing that.
God, Lance, that does feel bad. Jerry is 81, though. I mean, you're just playing the odds there.
I mean, and Jerry's lived kind of a hard life. Jerry to make it to 90 would be, I think people will be on the beach being like, I can drink another beer. Jerry Jones made it to 90. I mean, he's that kind of guy. I do not think they're going to win one. I think they're going to be worse than advertised this year. I think this is going to be a bad year for the Cowboys.
Mm.
Our friends at the University of Montevallo, before we get to 4 downs, a son and daughter looking for a place to go to college. You're a parent. You want to be smart about decisions. As a parent of someone who went to Montevallo, as a graduate of Montevallo, it's a wonderful decision you can make there. Find your undergraduate program, your graduate program, and nursing school soon. It's all at the University of Montevallo. Apply now, montevallo.edu. Find out why so many people choose Montevallo these days. Beautiful campus, great campus life. Continue your high school athletic career on the Division II NCAA level with 23 Division II fully funded scholarship sports. Check it out. Schedule a tour, montevallo.edu. 4 Downs is brought to you by Slice Every Day. LT will tell you about Slice in a moment. He's got our 4 Downs for us. Great place for lunch and dinner. He'll give us the details on them in a second. We start off 4 Downs with
First down.
Brown, you're going to love it. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 celebrity
4 downs
birthdays.
of celebrity birthdays.
Bob Seger, 79. Unfortunately, somebody was blasting Bob Seger on the beach Saturday. I know he's a talented guy. It was Night Moves.
Night Moves is a good song.
Working
Are you
on
working
the
on
night moves.
Yeah, we're just.
I used her, she used me. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Did he
Do not
sing
share.
Turn the Page?
Turn the Page. Metallica sang it better. But
Yeah.
okay, so Bob Seger's 79 years old. He's had a great career. A lot of people love Bob Seger. By the way, Taylor Hicks, who we had on Thursday night, does a really good Bob Seger.
I didn't know Bob used the harmonica.
I don't know if he does. They've got that similar voice.
Yeah.
Mike McDonald, Bob Seger,
Taylor
Hicks. But Bob Seger, 79. Better career. Bob Seger, Bob Costas.
I'm going Bob Costas here. I'm Bob really at the top of his game. You know, of this, he's done.
Has he done a Super Bowl? I guess he has.
I think he has.
World Series,
if not
Olympics.
play-by-play of a Super Bowl, certainly like, you know.
Pink Eye at the Olympics, he also
he
was the voice of a featured voice on Cars, 2 Cars films.
Yeah, you've seen those.
that.
Yeah,
I'm going Bob Costas. Yeah.
See,
He was Bob Cutlass in the film.
People forget
Oh,
that Bob Costas's peak, his heyday, were the 80s and early 90s.
That's right.
Right? I mean, a lot
Bob
of people,
Seger, too.
Yeah, but a lot of people just know Bob Costas for what he became in the 2000s. But in the 80s and 90s, Bob Costas was the man. So I'll go Bob Costas.
I didn't
as
like
well.
the music, but Bob Seger's probably like a top 25 artist all-time sales, possibly. I mean, he had like 5 or 6 number ones.
A lot.
I've got I got a good Bob Costas story I like to tell. Shows what a nice guy he is. I'll tell that sometime. I've told you. I mean, you guys know the story, but he's a nice guy.
Second down.
Chris Paul, 39 years old today. Better career, Chris Paul, arguably best point guard to never win a championship, or Peter Criss.
Would have been Chris Paul or Rule Paul would have been a good go.
Are they related?
Peter Criss?
Yeah, you know, so when we had on
Drummer Kiss?
we had on Andy Levine.
Hasn't dropped yet, so this is a tease.
Oh, it hasn't.
No.
Oh. So anyway, promoter for Topeka. We were at the festival this past weekend. He was telling us a story about Kiss and Gene Simmons and just talking about, like, they literally, it takes like 3 hours to get the makeup on and like an hour to get it off, and just how dedicated they are to their
They do it
craft.
themselves, too, I think.
They do, yeah. So this is coming up in a Mystery Fifth Hour that will drop early this week. Andy is a music producer who has worked on tons of bands, and he gives us a behind-the-scenes story.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
really
you guys will really like it.
So really good stuff there.
Yeah, it's coming up.
I'm a huge Kiss fan. Saw them in concert 3 times. In their heyday, first concert ever. Sort of in the middle of their career and near the end of their career, and they still busted to put on a good show. All just about entertaining the fans. Great pyrotechnics. Peter Criss, did he sing Beth?
Yeah, he wrote Beth.
He wrote
Yeah,
Beth.
I'm going to go Peter Criss.
My favorite Kiss song, Beth. I'm going to go Peter Criss.
Yeah, those guys doing it a long time still do it well.
Yeah, I think if Chris Paul had a championship, I might
go
lean
different.
Chris Paul, but CP3, best to not have one probably as a point guard.
Little gym fact, Rockstar. Try it with your youngster there. By the way, congratulations, first swimming pool this weekend for him.
No, he's been. We went to Lance's swimming pool.
Right.
Bethany and Leighton invited us over, and it was what we call freezing. And nobody got in but me and Cord.
And Jack, I'm sure.
Jack was already out. He said he'd been out for like an hour and a half. Like, he was like, I'm done. Like, everybody was just sitting there. And I was like, and we got Cord in a life vest just running around. I was like, I got to get him in because he's got. And so I bared the freezing temperature, but then he.
It was 80, by the way. I mean, I agree with you.
It does feel frigid, though.
I mean, right when you get, but he didn't react to it. He just hadn't been. This is probably the second or third time in the pool.
Yeah, well, I knew no lullabies with Young Harper, my first. So Beth is what I would sing her to sleep to. When I would rock her, it would be Beth, I Hear You Calling.
So does Cord get along with Bullet and Chili?
They were not unleashed. Jack said they were up on the deck or something like. They were not around the pool because you had a bulldog there too or something like that. I was like, I don't think we want 3 dogs running around tackling him.
Do you have a bulldog?
No, I do not have a bulldog.
No, one of Maddie's friends has a bulldog, and the bulldog was over.
Oh wow!
So story about Kiss, real quick. Matt Cameron, the drummer for Pearl Jam and the drummer for Soundgarden, Temple the Dog, and everything. He was doing an interview with Howard Stern promoting the new album, and he said he was in a Kiss cover band when he was 10 or 11 years old, And his dad knew a promoter, so they drove to San Diego to see Kiss live in like 77. And he said he was like 13 or 14. And he met Paul Stanley, got a picture with him, and showed it was him and his friend we have a Kiss cover band. We just do Kiss covers, and here's us in our makeup. We made our own platform shoes. We made our own stage. We do our own fireworks. Paul Stanley took a picture. 2 weeks later, they got a letter from the mail from their record company, from Kiss. Like, oh my God, Paul's writing us and Gene's writing us.
Yep.
Cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their band name was
take that picture.
Kiss.
Yeah.
Their band name was what?
Kiss.
So we had a cover band that would come through. Strutter, I think, was the cover band for Kiss, and they did a really good job with it. I was never a big Kiss fan. First concert.
It's terrible.
Can I just quick time out here? I'm starting to feel like Scott Forrester should be part of a Redmont. What's the old podcast?
Last Call?
Last Call. Because Forrester tells me I was a stagehand at Kiss's farewell tour in like 2003.
Yeah, Forrester has done
so
some
did you
interesting
travel?
stuff.
Did you travel or just here in Birmingham?
No, I just did local shows here in Birmingham.
Okay.
Kiss being one of them.
Did you have any interaction with them at all, or was it
No.
just okay?
Okay.
I think they all four like travel in separate buses. Like, I don't think they talk to each other.
Oh, really?
Like, they get to the show, get the check, go home.
Yeah. Well, we just did a road show down at the Gulf Coast, and we took 3 separate cars too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but we all stayed in the same
Can you
room.
imagine having your own
talked
bus,
to each
though?
other. I know.
yeah.
Third down.
By the way, Brown did. He played golf. He didn't hang on the beach with us.
No, there was never a plan to.
George Clooney, 63 years old today. Better career, George Clooney or George Michael?
George Michael in the sports machine or George Michael? No. I am going to go George Clooney on this. George Clooney's career just continues to go.
Tequila thing.
Yeah, he's got the Casamigos, right?
Casamigos. Him and Randy Gerber
Yep.
paired up on that, and they've made a fortune on that. But, I mean, George Michael was printing money before he dies of a heart attack on Christmas Day, and that's probably been 6-7 years ago now.
George Clooney, good long career. I mean,
was in Roseanne, was in Facts of Life.
that's right. I mean, but ER was the biggest show going when he was on ER, and then
He
he's
was.
all
that
the
was the
Ocean's
90s.
movies.
yeah, that was the 90s.
It won for Siriano, won a Best Supporting Actor.
Did Up in the
Academy
Air
Award.
win anything for him? That's a good
No,
movie.
he was nominated.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
Yeah. Disturbing
it's a sad
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
But
Sad
you
movie.
guys will give me George Michael had a hell of a career.
He did.
No.
He did.
I mean, I think George Michael's probably got 8 to 10 number one songs.
I want to talk about sex.
I would like to talk to you about some sex.
I would like to have a discussion.
What was the name of the
I
song?
I want your sex.
I want your sex.
Faith
That's a little
will be
bit
a
more
number one,
aggressive than
right?
what I was
Freedom
saying.
90.
Faith, he's leaned up against the jukebox, tapping that hill. You remember?
That's
that
why I was
booty
not
shaking.
successful at dating Rockstar.
I would like to talk to you about some
I would
sex.
like to talk to you about sex.
May we have a
Most
conversation
people
about
just go, I want your sex. It's much
And
more
I'd like
aggressive.
to be your
yes.
father figure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Willie Mays back in 4 downs because he actually, I didn't realize he was still alive, 93 years old
Oh,
today.
absolutely. From here in the Birmingham area.
They say, hey, kid, they're honoring him at the game this summer, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I know you guys think that Willie Mays is the best ever.
I would say best baseball all-around
You can
player
argue
ever.
that,
Yeah.
but if I asked you the better Alabamian career, Willie Mays or Charles Barkley?
I'll probably go Barkley on career.
Are you talking about broadcasting?
Oh, yeah, I'm
everything?
talking about everything.
I mean, Barkley is definitely a top 50 NBA player all time.
Yeah,
Is he top 25?
I would just say, though, that
Maybe top 25,
Yeah.
and I think he's a top 5 analyst all time.
Oh, he may be
Just when
number
you're talking
one
about
analyst all time.
entertainment.
Yeah.
okay, but there was a moment. There was a moment in television in the 60s and early 70s that Willie Mays would show up on the Tonight Show, and he was, he was that guy.
Was he a
that-
charismatic guy?
I don't know.
I
just
know you didn't see him play baseball, but you
like he
apparently
would
saw
be
him
on the
Tonight
Brady
Show.
Bunch, or he would be on Emergency 911, or whatever the shows were. He would make cameo. He was
that big a name.
He was, it was Joe Namath, and then there was Willie Mays for a while.
That's when you knew the show had jumped the shark, right?
I don't know. He was in cartoons. I mean, like he did, I think, a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah.
Barkley was in the original
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Barkley's the easy answer now.
Yeah, but back then you
But
said
back then,
yeah.
Willie Mays was very, very
Yeah.
popular. But Barkley's my answer. Yeah.
By the way, that show is on perilous ground. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. It is the best studio show there is, but Turner may not get the NBA again. There's growing speculation the NBA is going to Amazon. Can't remember who all the bidders are.
Yeah,
Did we not talk about this?
I think we talked about it on the beach.
Oh, it wasn't on the show.
Yeah, it was on the
beach.
show, and Charles is a free agent. If they lose the NBA, it's in his contract.
But here is here's the, I guess, kind of the rub when you were talking about Ernie Johnson. Is this public?
Ernie has said he's staying at TNT no matter what.
Yeah, Ernie says he's staying at Turner no matter what happens. Barkley says it's probably the end of the show.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to recreate the show without Ernie.
Yeah.
Well, and this probably is a good stopping point for Charles. Not that we want to see him stop, but, this is a guy that said he was going to retire at 60.
Yeah. By the way, Caleb, no way Willie Mays is in the top 50.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding me?
I would say he's saying Willie didn't face the same talent they face today. Dude,
what?
You've got AAA, AA talent playing in Major League Baseball today.
Yeah, that's an insane statement.
Yeah, there were so few teams back then. You had to be an all-star to be in the major leagues back then. Go check out how many teams and player positions you actually had that got to be in Major League Baseball back then to the number of teams and players that you have on Major League rosters now. Insane to think that Willie Mays is not even a top 50 player of all time. In fact, I'll double down. Greatest baseball player of all time.
Oh, I agree with you. All around, best player.
4 Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice, where they have 5 locations now. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, now Edgewood, right there on the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Local pizza, local ingredients. Stop in for lunch, get a slice and a salad today. You're going to absolutely love it. Go see the Bajai Brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
And Brownie, would you tell us about A+, the people that changed your and LT's homes for the better?
Yes, indeed. Listen, a master bedroom closet, master bathroom, and kitchen. That's where you spend probably a large amount of time in your house, and it's also where you're going to get your money back when you go to sell it. And it just so happens to be the 3 areas of the house that our guy Brad Bell specializes in: master bath, kitchen, master bedroom, closet. And if those places have become outdated or just unuseful for you, let Brad come give you a quote on fixing those places up. Now, he'll do anything in your house. I'm just giving you what he specializes in because he knows it's where you're going to make your money back when you go to sell your house. Here is Brad's number. This is his cell, 205-422-1758. Scotty's showing you before and afters of my bathroom and his Lance's bathroom. When it came time to redo our master bath, my wife, Jennifer, scoured the internet. She read reviews, talked to people. Brad, was the guy that she picked, and I am so glad she did. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. Don't know why I wanted to name it Jeff. 205-422-1758. That's his cell phone. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Birmingham, your Stallions take on former Crimson Tide quarterback A.J. McCarron and the St. Louis Battlehawks on Saturday, May 11th at 3 p.m. It's Braves Day. You get to meet Braves mascot Blooper and get a free custom baseball card. Enjoy the Fan Fest, on-field opportunities for the kids, and elite professional football. Tickets start at just $10. Buy yours today at theufl.com. With only 3 home games left this season, don't miss the chance to cheer on the unbeaten Stallions. Let's pack protective.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by AmFirst coming up May 12th through the 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. Free public admission. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display. Vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend long. Fireworks show on Friday night. How about this? Free Velcro Pygmies concert coming up on Saturday. Mother's Day is Sunday. They're going to take care of mom with free mimosas all day on Sunday. For more information for this incredible event, go online, LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at The Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Back with you on The Next Round. Hey, Wednesday, man, we're out there for the Drummond Company Pro-Am at Greystone. And one of the things that we're always excited about doing with all the stars that are out there is the Coca-Cola interviews that we do afterwards in the Coca-Cola room out there. Last year, we talked to Kirby Smart and Hugh Freeze and a bunch of people, Greg Sankey, and we're going to be doing the rounds again, right?
Yeah, we're going to be out there in the we're going to have some Coca-Cola conversations there in the Coca-Cola room. They will all drop on demand. They won't be in the course of this show, but they'll all drop on demand. So we'll record those Wednesdays. So look throughout the spring and summer for those to start dropping, and we'll have some fun conversations with people.
Coming up at the top of the hour, DraftKings have early betting lines for the first 3 weeks of the college football season. That includes things like Alabama at Wisconsin, Auburn hosting Cal, and some others. So we'll talk a little SEC college football betting lines and some other big games around the country coming up at the top of the hour. Big week as well over at Pell City for Lake Fest LT. We're getting a chance if you're in the Pell City area tomorrow afternoon, early evening. We'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings out there in Pell City tomorrow. What time are we doing that show?
I think it is 5:30 to 7. Let me confirm that. But yes, we will be out there tomorrow night at the Pell City Buffalo Wild Wings. Looking for that. Looking forward to that. Getting ready to kick off Lake Fest, Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show, presented by Amherst, May 10th to the 12th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It's free admission for the public. It's Bama's biggest in-water boat show. Over 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors, food trucks, live music all weekend, including the free Velcro Pygmies concert on Saturday. There's a fireworks show on Friday night, and it is Mother's Day weekend. They will take care of Mom with free mimosas on Sunday. For more information, go online today. Go to LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
Congratulations to all the graduates this past weekend at schools. Forster, I sent some wild tweets and things over the weekend to you. I don't know if you pulled them for the show. If not, I'll get to them in the end of the show today. But really some creative graduation stuff at South Carolina and at Auburn. But we'll do that before the show's over with. But congratulations to everybody who graduated at all the schools out there. It's always a special time. NBA playoffs continue tonight. Pacers and Knicks start a series. And some of you I know don't like the NBA, but some of you do. But from 1993 to 2000, 6 times the Pacers and Knicks had epic playoff series.
Oh, look, you go back to when Reggie Miller had maybe the greatest 20-second sequence.
Was it the same game where he did the choke to Spike Lee?
Yeah, sure was. And just it was insane. You go back to 1999, that series against Larry Johnson and the Knicks. They had, everybody will talk about Knicks Bulls, but it was more Knicks Pacers. Those were some great series.
Yeah.
And I think this one's going to be really good too.
Starts off the game 1 tonight, 6:30. And then the game I'm watching is at 9 o'clock tonight on TNT. If you missed it over the weekend, just caught up doing weekend things, T-Wolves beat the Nuggets in game 1 in Denver. Game 2 tonight, and Anthony Edwards scored 43 points. I don't know what the betting line is, LT, but this is a you hate to say a must-win for the world champion Nuggets, who everyone had just penciled in being back there again this year. But you go down 0-2, losing the first 2 at home, this gets really interesting.
Well, here's an adjusted series price. The Timberwolves are now favored in the series, minus 135.
Favored to win the series.
Favored to win the
series. Of
series.
course, Nuggets win tonight, and that flips right back, right?
It probably would flip back to the Nuggets, probably minus 135, 140. But the Nuggets are a 5.5-point favorite tonight in Denver. But there's a lot of people, a lot of the professionals out there that are saying they believe that the Timberwolves will win this series.
Karl Anthony Towns is still very young, by the way. Karl Anthony Towns is almost completely healthy, playing pretty good basketball. And Denver's got the pressure on them to win tonight. That'll be an interesting atmosphere.
Yeah, and right now, your Knicks favored to win that series minus 265, and the Thunder minus 135 over the Mavericks. So just some serious price for you there.
OKC and Dallas is one of the other series, and then there's Boston and Cleveland. Cleveland, by the way, Brown, won their first playoff series without LeBron on the team since 1993.
Over the Magic? I mean, that is, when you say that number, it's hard to believe. But, boy, if you grew up when we grew up and you knew how bad Cleveland was before LeBron got there, there's a reason they were able to draft LeBron.
That's right.
So they were just an awful, awful franchise for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and then, the Mark Price years, wasn't that a big, was that against the Cavs, that one of the big buckets that
Jordan
hit to advance in the playoffs?
Yeah, over Craig Elo.
Craig Elo.
That was like his first signature big game win in the NBA.
That Mark Price, Craig Elo, Brad Daugherty was on that team?
Yeah. Really good Cavs team.
Yeah, that was like one of the random times the Cavs were good before LeBron got there.
Yeah, back when they absolutely called them the Cavaliers all the time.
That's right. They're playing in Cleveland, and they were a long way out of the city. I got a friend, a buddy of mine named Rick Swing, that played at Citadel. I think you guys have met Rick, and his son Jordan has been on the show. Jordan
Swing.
Yeah, his dad played for the Cavs for a little bit coming out of Citadel, and I think at the time he said we played like 20 minutes outside the city. Like, they called us the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the only arena they had was like 20 minutes outside the city. I don't even know where it was, but it was not a great situation.
Rarely actually went into Cleveland. In fact, the whole time you were there. All right, we started the show with Alabama's big pickup, big cliff and down on the anchor. Mark Sears being projected as a 50-50 guy, whether he comes back to Alabama. He is part of the NBA Combine invite, which just doesn't go to anybody. That's a big deal there. Auburn is working on filling out their roster. The possibility of getting Sanford star Achor. He's going to visit. Jordan Ivy Curry also going to visit. Big UTSA Roadrunner guard. He is going to visit and maybe leaning Auburn right now. So the basketball world continues to churn around here. We go back to college football when we come back on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at Odie's. After another great weekend of great food and music, it's time to start talking about trivia again.
Yeah, at a good time just to go get lunch, sit on the patio, enjoy some of this great weather as we roll into summertime. Stop in 2 locations, the original Crestline Village, the newest location in Edgewood, corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Get in and see Will Haver. Enjoy incredible food from Rodney Davis. Been doing it for more than 33 years. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, including that Diablo sandwich, ice cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Stop in today to one of those 2 great locations of Odie's Tavern.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Done Away is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the region's tradition May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The region's tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Brown's got some updated betting lines from DraftKings, college football-wise. We'll get to in just a second. I have another question to ask about college football before we get to that. LTD and B, Rockstar, Lunsford, Forrester, Tyler, and Little T handling everything social media-wise. Don't forget a new Meltdown happens at 2 o'clock Central today. Just a little under 3 hours from now. Our pop culture podcast and show that you get there live every day at 2 o'clock. Another Uncorked will roll out at some point this week. Stay on top of everything Uncorked on our platform as well. Like and subscribe both of those shows. And a new Pennant Grace with Emily Grace McWhorter and our buddy Ush will drop this week as well. So like, subscribe, and set alerts for all of that so you know when new content happens there. And also with our podcasts, Roll Tide Pods and War Dam Pods. That's out there. New information, new content going up all summer long on those two platforms. You don't want to miss. Like, subscribe, and set those alerts so you don't miss anything. What would it take? This will be our Champy's Chicken question of the day. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Our buddy Todd Coder. He and my buddy Grady. Todd Coder's y'all's buddy. Grady, his son, is my buddy. They were coming back from the beach and that great concert music getaway. And they said, the one thing we're going to do on the way back on Saturday, we're going to stop off at Champy's Chicken, just off the Alabaster exit. And I tell you, going to or coming back from the beach, stop off. And they stopped off, Champy's Chicken. Grady gave it 2 thumbs up. And Todd said, just an unbelievable bird right there at Champy's Chicken. You can experience that as well. So they said, say hi to Sterling for us. Tell him what a great job it was. So Sterling, the Coder family, said, awesome meal on their way back from the beach this weekend. You can experience that right now. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, just off the exit on your beach trips to and from all year long, or a destination lunch or dinner place. It's Champy's Chicken, great southern fried chicken, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. So the question I have for you, realistically, what does it take for Billy Napier to save his job this year? Forster will pull up the Florida schedule for you at some point, but is there a way that he saves his job this year? Realistically, what does he have to do in your mind to make Scott Strickland say, we've got the right guy, we're going to stick with him?
Well, I think if you're Scott Strickland and he can navigate 8 wins with this brutal schedule, and on paper going into a season, you can make an argument one of the most difficult schedules in the history of college football.
Just a tough in-state rival game with Miami to start with.
I personally don't think he's going to be able to navigate 8-4, but I think if he gets to 8-4, if you're a Florida fan, you've got to give this guy time.
This November, guys, just listen to his November schedule, and those of you that are watching can see it.
So you've skipped to November after starting with Miami, Samford, and Texas A&M, and a road game at Mississippi State, and then UCF in your first 5.
I know, after a bye. So coming out of the Halloween bye, going into the cocktail party, here is the way they finished the schedule. And the reason I'm skipping to November, Jim, is this is what's going to decide whether you remain coach or not. Neutral site Georgia, and we'll have some of these lines in a moment when we get those for DraftKings. At Texas, hosting LSU, hosting Ole Miss, at Florida State. You can play well and go 0-5.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me run through this.
Can I ask you a serious question first?
Okay, I just want to run through the schedule real quick, and you tell me preseason top 25 or not. Miami?
Yes.
Texas A&M?
Yes. I think it'd be close, but yes.
Road game, Mississippi State? No. UCF?
No.
It'd be close, I think.
Tennessee, yes.
Tennessee, yes. Kentucky? No. Georgia,
the rest of
obviously,
them,
number
yes.
one.
Yes.
Texas, yes. LSU, yes. Ole Miss, yes. Florida State, yes. So you're talking about possibly 8-9 ranked teams.
This is a serious question. Better chance of going 10-2 or 1-11?
1-11. That's your better chance.
I really think it is. I mean,
the one win being Samford.
Yeah.
High scoring FCS team.
Well, they're going to be they'll be favored against Miami barely, and that'll be one of those tricky games where everybody will be on Miami.
Yeah.
So I could see Florida win that game.
See, so that's what, and Forster just said this. You said November will decide. Will he make it to November? Because the one thing you don't want if you're Scott Strickland, if you believe that he is not the coach of your future, you do what they did to Les Miles at LSU, and you get rid of him after Miami's 2 losses, but a second loss to Texas A&M
or State,
or to Mississippi State, or to UCF, or to Tennessee before you get into the cocktail party on. If he's got 2 or 3 losses early, that's when you pull the plug. You don't give him a chance to go in there and upset Georgia or upset Texas or try to flip the script down the way.
Well, watch this. If Tennessee beats Florida again, and remember Florida owned Tennessee. And if Alex Golish has another really good year at South Florida, just remember that name, just because of the offense. Because you went deep, or I guess you went offense with Billy Napier. They play like it's a defensive team. I think they're going to be favored in 1, 2, 3, 4 games.
And Andy says, I see 4 wins. Rohan says they will beat Miami and UCF.
Well, that's a heck of a start, but that doesn't get you out of the woods yet if you're Billy Napier.
Now, Keith always asks the most important question. What is the buyout? What is the buyout?
I don't know the answer to that. I could try to find it.
Ballfan 205, I don't think they're going to let Scott Strickland fire him.
You think he'll get fired first?
Some people think that, yes, Dan Mullen, Billy Napier. I got a feeling, I don't know, man. You always go like Hugh Freeze. I think we're all going to sit back and say, the slow burn way he's building the program. It's a big buyout, yes.
Oh my gosh, have you seen it?
$35 million would have been my guess.
Well, it's 25.
Yeah, they ain't paying that.
That's a hefty buyout for Billy freaking Napier.
Yeah,
boy,
Ross
and that's
says,
at the end of the season, by the way. That's after the season's over.
Yeah, Ross says Strickland goes with Napier too. He's on a hot seat down there right now.
Well, yeah, because he gave him this contract. He's an 85% guy, Dunaway. Napier's an 85% buyout guy. So whatever that number is, the day you want to fire him, you want him 85% of it.
Yeah, even if he had that disastrous 111, I don't know what you do. This is kind of a Jimbo Fisher situation where, like, even if you were to fire him, they ended up getting Mike Elko. And I like Mike Elko, but what's Florida going to get if you paid that type of money to get rid of him?
Golish.
Yeah, I mean,
you
I was
would
just
probably get him at a bargain.
Yeah.
We're going to be patient with Hugh Freeze, though we're all starting to lean 9 wins this year because of what a disaster it was before this. But Dan Mullen's recruiting left Billy Napier in a pretty disastrous situation. So are we really judging Billy Napier really fairly at this point?
Well, I mean, with the transfer portal, I think you can expect these guys to accelerate getting out of those holes.
This is year 3 for him, correct?
It is year 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, just tell me what Lance Leopold's doing. And, is it I think it's year 3 for him in Kansas.
Yeah. Well, who is he really beating, though? He's not playing in the SEC.
Well, he's beating more teams, though, than Billy Napier. It's Billy Napier.
Kansas and Florida, those teams or those programs cannot be further apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's just one question I had for you there.
Hey, I'll tell you this, and Keith is on it. Billy Napier's nose better be as clean as it can be right now because
I've said this about Fisher.
Yeah, with that type of buyout, if there is anything they can leak on him, they'll leak it in a hurry to keep from paying that $25 million.
Yeah. I think it is. Billy Napier seems
I've never heard anything about him, but go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So Brown's got some numbers for us here from our buddies at DraftKings. Dr. B first, a guy that's working on some numbers of the hair follicles on both Brown's head and LT's head.
Look, if you're starting to thin out a little bit, like I was a couple of years ago, like Brown is right now, you need to go see our friend Dr. Beckenstein. That is the name. Everybody said you need to call Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week on the couch, 30 minutes each time using that laser cap. Brown is doing the same right now. T3hair.net or 205-319-0316.
All right, so DraftKings, you'll be able to play all these games, by the way. We'd like to remind you at mybookie.ag. That's our official recommendation, mybookie.ag. But here are some early lines for the entire season. I got a ton of games here. We're not going to hit them all, but I'll hit the ones that I think are of interest to us. We have talked a lot about this game. There's an official line on it now, North Dakota State and Colorado. For those that do not remember, it has been moved to Thursday night in Boulder.
Colorado minus 4.5.
I think 4.5 should be the number. They're going to inflate it more just because of Shador and the Colorado brand. I think it'll be 7.
It is 7. North Carolina and Minnesota is that same Thursday night. Just to put this in perspective, that game is in Minnesota.
Yeah. Max
Johnson's
in
Minneapolis.
North Carolina debut.
I would say Minnesota is a 2-point favorite.
Jeff Collins at defense.
Yep.
I'll take North Carolina for a stake regardless of the point spread. I'll take whatever the point spread is in North Carolina.
Jim is going to catch a point here if you accept this bet.
So it's virtually a pick 'em.
Virtually a pick 'em.
So Minnesota.
Minnesota's favored 1.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
so
said
I'll just go pick 'em since it's 1.
Yeah, I'll take Minnesota.
Okay. I'll take North Carolina.
You know, I was dogging that game out the other day. Thank you, Scott, for the likes. I was dogging that game out, but when I gave you that point spread and I just envisioned North Carolina. I know this is going to sound crazy. I just envisioned North Carolina and Minnesota on the field together. My heart fluttered a little bit. I'll be so excited about that game. I know I'm dogging it right now. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. That is a week 1 game. Mike Elko gets started with the Fighting Irish there in College Station.
Tricky game for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I am going to say that A&M's 3-point favorite.
College Station, I'm going to say it's back to that number, -1, A&M -1.
It is A&M -2, so a 2-point favorite for Texas A&M. Clemson, Georgia. We talked about this game the other day being a narrative setter for either Kirby. He would have lost 2 out of 3 if he loses this one, or Dabo. See, they're not back after all. Well, the point spread makers, the odds makers, have weighed in on this one in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think I might have seen this one, so I don't want to act like I know. I would have said that it was 10. I think it is 10.
Yeah. I think it should be bigger than that. I'm going to say 13.5, but I do think we've seen some early lines on this.
It is 13.5, and I think we have seen some early lines, and I think it might have ticked up from there, from DraftKings. LSU is playing USC September 1st. This is that made-for-TV Sunday night game. It will be played in Las Vegas. USC, if it matters to you at all, I think is the home game there, but our home team, but it is played in Las Vegas.
I would say LSU 3.5.
Really doesn't matter with the uniforms in this one because LSU would be wearing white
Either
home
way,
or away.
yep.
Great uniform game, by
It
the
is,
way.
it
That's
is.
I think that's 2 top 5 uniforms for me. USC would, if they were in white, would be better, but that's still a top 5 uniform game.
I think USC is going to be a 3.5-point favorite.
USC is?
Oh, excuse me, LSU.
Okay,
LSU,
let's say LSU's favored 6 in this game.
Okay.
6 in this game. Texas, Michigan. This is a week 2 game played in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Michigan fans are going to be upset, but they are going to be the underdog in this game. I think Texas is probably 2.5.
This is going to be one of those SEC chest-pounding moments.
SEC is going to pound the chest early on Texas. Texas is favored 3. Lance is correct. And
Texas
the fact that
favored by a field goal on the road in the Big House.
They are indeed.
And I would lay that.
And by the way, they'll walk in there and look at it and say, not that big of a house.
This will be
Not that
could
big
be,
of a house.
Could be an early on dick whipping against the team that won the national championship.
Hey, so I skipped over this one in week 1, but let's keep up with it. So we just talked about Billy Napier. Miami is favored 2 over Florida in Gainesville. Okay? Miami favored 2 over Florida in Gainesville.
That will be one of the most heavily bet week 1 games, though.
The reason I went back to that, Texas A&M favored 4 over Florida, also in Gainesville. I mean, they're a home underdog time and time again. First line I've seen on Alabama, Wisconsin here. Alabama, Wisconsin in Madison.
Ooh, I thought
Jump around.
I thought I saw one at, I thought it was 7.5 or was it 10? It was 10.5.
Yeah, this is going to be double digits, but where does it land? I think it will ultimately land Bama about 13.5. I probably would play Wisconsin. I'm going to say it's 11.5.
Wow, it's 7.5.
That's a low number.
That is a low number. Alabama is 7.5 at Wisconsin with DraftKings.
On the road at Wisconsin, though.
Yeah.
It's a well-respected road atmosphere.
That'd be a terrible loss.
Terrible loss. I know that is deemed one of the better environments in all of college football, but if DeBoer loses that's the week before Georgia, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a tricky USF home game between Wisconsin, USF, and Georgia.
Tennessee is at Oklahoma. Tennessee at Oklahoma.
Tennessee
September
at
21st.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
SEC
pick.
game.
It is an SEC game.
I think it's a pick. Maybe Oklahoma won.
Oklahoma's favored 5 in this one.
I was going to say Oklahoma 3.5.
I think I would jump on some Tennessee right now.
Well, I tell you what, USC's got some big point spreads against them. Michigan is favored at 11 in Ann Arbor against USC.
I would take USC in a second.
I feel like I would too, Lance.
How big of a difference? Texas giving points, and then USC, same field, 11.5?
Yeah, they're a 3-point dog to Texas. They're an 11-point favorite to USC.
I do think that USC is going to be better than advertised this year just because it seems so Lincoln Riley. The bullseye was on them last year with Caleb Williams coming back with that Heisman. And a lot of people believed they were going to a college football playoff. Do you remember? It was like every other person, they're going to win the Pac-12 in its final season. They were expected to be Washington last year.
Yeah. I would. The chat room is saying that early on in the season, you will get a lot of opportunity to play Alabama in a poorly adjusted number.
Well, I'll show you some of those in a moment. This is the first Auburn number we've seen. Oklahoma is at Auburn September 28th, Jordan-Hare Stadium. Same day Alabama plays Georgia. More on that in a moment.
Auburn -1.
Boy, they're giving Oklahoma a lot of respect with that -5 that we saw earlier. I think you're probably about right. I would say Auburn won.
Oklahoma is a 3-point favorite currently in that game.
I will
at
take me some
Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Auburn.
They've never been to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
They have not.
They don't know what they're walking into.
Based on the Georgia-Bama kick time, I'm going to say that's probably a day game for them at Jordan-Hare Stadium. We already know Georgia-Bama are playing prime time. I don't think they would put Oklahoma-Auburn up against that anywhere.
Right out of game day, maybe.
Yeah, it could be a very early kick. Georgia-Bama, here we go. We've seen this one already, but they were talking about some poorly adjusted.
Game day could be in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
And say, Marty Smith, meanwhile, is down on the plains. Marty, is it Oklahoma just came out for warm-ups with their little tiny wagon.
We've already seen this one. Georgia, 4.5-point favorite. The last time, I'm willing to say, Lance, the last time Bama was a 4.5-point home dog might have been the Shula era. The only one I could think of was that first year when LSU came, but at that game, Alabama and LSU were playing for the West lead that day.
Yeah, I want to say that number was like 6.5.
Yeah, that was Saban's very first year. It has been a long time.
Okay, if Nick Saban,
a long time,
is the head coach,
they're Alabama's favorite.
Alabama is favored.
Kirby Smart couldn't beat Nick Saban, and I do think that's part of it. But man, it's been a long time since you've been able to get 4.5 points as an Alabama fan at home.
By the time that game kicks off, it'll be a pick'em.
That's a big move.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. Well, and a lot depends on what happens the week before in Madison.
Yeah, or the week before against USF. I think it's Wisconsin.
Okay. Deep South's oldest rivalry.
Where is that game?
That is in Athens.
Oh, Georgia's going to be, I would say right now, 16?
13.5.
24.
What? Georgia's a 24-point. I can go bet right now somewhere in the free world.
I do think they're limited lines.
Yeah.
Limited.
I can get Auburn plus 24 points.
Yep. Auburn plus 24 in Athens.
That's insanity.
This is normally when I would say, you know what, I'll take Georgia, but I ain't.
You ain't jumping on that one?
No.
These are at DraftKings. Again, you'll be able to play these games eventually, when they're officially on the board at mybookie.ag. So next round at mybookie.ag.
We usually wait for that dusty old point spread.
The gold nugget.
I don't think they do the gold nugget lines anymore.
You never liked those. You didn't trust them.
I think DraftKings says, come on, can this be the list I go and make my picks off of this year?
Maybe.
I mean,
because I've got one already.
Auburn plus 24. You'd like a little Auburn plus 24?
So how many do you have to hit out of 10? 6?
I can't. I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, I think it's 6 out of 10. I mean, if you go on to do your NFL plays, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I actually think it's 7 out of 10.
One of the big national games this year played in Eugene. Ohio State on the road at Oregon. Oregon's favored a point in that game, so a virtual pick 'em there. It'll be an entertaining game October 12th.
I would take Ohio State, too.
I would, too.
We were talking about, just to keep up with this, the Florida-Tennessee game. Florida plus 11. They're catching 11 at Tennessee. So there again, Florida, another big dog when you start to add up whether or not they can keep. Here's an interesting Billy Napier can keep his job. Interesting one to me, Penn State at USC.
By everything by what we saw USC at Minnesota, I'm going to say Penn State's a road favorite.
I would say Penn State's 2.
They're a 4-point road favorite
Yeah.
at USC. Boy, they are down on some USC this
I mean,
year.
there are some road favorites on this
I know.
DraftKings. They're not factoring in college football's biggest strength, and that's home field advantage.
You act like DraftKings never put a line on a game, though. They know there's a big home field advantage.
What is this DraftKings you speak of?
Red River, Texas is an 8.5-point favorite in the first ever SEC Red River. Here's another interesting one. Ole Miss is at LSU. Ole Miss at LSU October 12th.
Watershed game for both these programs. This will make their season.
Yeah, so last year, an incredible game that Ole Miss ended up winning in Oxford, back and forth, track meet. I think Ole Miss, I think it's going to be a pick.
It's very close, 2.5. LSU, a 2.5-point favorite at home.
I would take LSU right now.
Here's another one you would jump down on, Dunaway. Auburn catching 10 at Missouri, October 19th. Auburn plus 10 at Missouri.
Boy, DraftKings does not believe in Auburn as much as we do.
One of the big SEC games of the year. Georgia is at Texas.
Georgia at Texas. I still think Georgia's going to be. This is the Alabama factor back in the day with Saban. I think Georgia is going to be a slight favorite. I would say 2 over Texas.
I'd say 2.5.
1.5. So you guys are very close. Alabama, a 2-point favorite on the road at Tennessee. Alabama, an 8.5-point favorite at home to Missouri. Just a couple more here. The cocktail party, Georgia, a 22-point favorite in that one. These Georgia numbers are big. Big Georgia numbers. Alabama at LSU.
I think it's going to be much like what you just got with Ole Miss. I think LSU will be a 1-point favorite.
They are a 1-point favorite over Alabama. Georgia is a 7-point favorite on the road at Ole Miss.
How long did Alabama go without being an underdog? And you're just throwing out
quite a while.
You're
I've
throwing
given
out
you 2
a lot
already.
of Alabama underdogs.
I've given you 2 already. We were talking about Florida earlier. In Gainesville, LSU a 5.5-point favorite. All right, end of the season, Alabama, Oklahoma. Alabama in Norman, a 1.5-point favorite. This is the week before the Iron Bowl. That same day, Auburn is playing Texas A&M, and Auburn at home to A&M is a 3.5-point dog. I'm going to say that one changes too.
DraftKings projecting Auburn to not go bowling
again.
Yeah,
they don't like them.
It's almost if you could get these, if you like Auburn this year, if you could get these DraftKings numbers and just play Auburn
right now
in every game right now.
Yeah, there's some big numbers. And here's another one, the Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa this year, of course.
Well, I mean, if you had them as a 24.5-point dog against Georgia, I would think this number's like 19.
15. Alabama, an early 15-point favorite in the Iron Bowl. Just one final one. Texas and A&M renew that rivalry. Texas a 4-point favorite at A&M.
College Station.
In College Station, yeah. So that's from DraftKings.
Texas should be good. All those lines, DraftKings right there. Mr. B says on 3's early college basketball poll out. Alabama 1, Kansas 2, Houston 3, UConn, Baylor, Duke in the top 6. Thank you, Mr. B, for that. And there it is.
Auburn 9th in that poll, too. So 2 in-state top 10 teams.
So the top SEC teams with a new conference, Alabama, Auburn. So there you go. I assume that's Gonzaga, not Samford at number 8. Samford's got a different looking bulldog now, Jim, but back in the day. So the top 2 SEC teams are Alabama 1 and Auburn 9th, followed next by SEC Power Texas at 12, then SEC Power Florida at 17, Tennessee at 20, A&M at 22, Ole Miss at 24. Chris Beard effect.
Yep. I mean, that's a look at all those SEC logos you see.
There is no Kentucky and no Arkansas on that on 3 way too early college basketball top 25.
Yet you've still got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SEC teams at the top 25.
Yeah. And I guarantee
one of
you
them's not
Arkansas and Kentucky will be will be top 6 seeds in the NCAA tournament, both of them. Yeah. Conference is getting so good, man. So fun. And it's so fun that Auburn and Alabama are so good at basketball now. Makes the year fly by, right? We've got good basketball in the area.
Oh, it helps.
Andy's done a lot of work in the offseason for this Blazer roster. I'm going to go ahead and say Andy's best roster since he's been at UAB.
I think you're probably right about that. Yeah. He's done really, really well.
And we know what Bucky has done with Samford, so a good time to be a basketball fan here in the state. Show being brought to you by our friends at Coca-Cola. Big event happening this week at the Regions Tradition. Brown's got his Diet Coke. He's drinking it right now. You can get the new Sprite flavor, limited time only, as it runs with the Sprite Chill. Coca-Cola Spice is going to be there forever. You see them all behind Brown. We'll be in the Coca-Cola stage area that we'll set up out there and do some more Coca-Cola long-form interviews at the Regions Tradition this year. Wednesdays today we'll be recording those, and then they'll be dropping periodically on our platforms over the next few weeks. We look forward to doing that again, just like we did last year with our friends at Coca-Cola. You can get your tickets to the Regions Tradition, including the recent Wednesday Pro-Am, by going to regionstradition.com, regionstradition.com. When we come back, we'll do trash and a lot more here on TNR. Stay with us.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by Amherst is back May 12th through 14th on Logan Martin Lake in Pell City. It is Bama's biggest in-water boat show with more than 100 boats and vehicles on display, vendors and food trucks, live music all weekend long, and it is free public admission. Don't forget the Friday night fireworks show, free Velcro Pygmies concert Saturday, free mimosas for Mom on Mother's Day Sunday. LoganMartinLakeFest.com for more info. It's the annual Logan Martin Lake Fest and Boat Show presented by Amherst May 12th through 14th. LoganMartinLakeFest.com.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali. Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Brownie was just talking about his love for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I watched the end. I got home from the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame just in time for overtime for that Bruins Maple Leafs game. And Lance, I just said to Dunaway, you're not guaranteed anything in life. I mean, a Canadian team, Johnny Cogden of ABC 3340 when I did the zone last night was reminding me a Canadian team hasn't won it since Montreal in 93. You start to wonder if the Maple Leafs will ever win another one. I know it sounds stupid.
The Maple Leafs are a Canadian team.
No, a Canadian team will, but the Maple Leafs said that has been a long drought for that proud franchise.
We have to remember that a Canadian team made up half the league at one point, and then a big chunk of the league for a while, and now they're down to what? 6 teams?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg,
Ottawa,
Toronto,
Montreal, and Toronto. Yeah, 6 teams.
Yeah,
I mean, another Canadian team will win it. Like Vancouver could this year. I think Vancouver, a lot of people think is really, really good.
Yeah, just a fun series. Boston survives it. Now they play number 1 seed Florida, starting their series tonight. Florida's a team that knocked them out last year. Florida, who's been resting since eliminating my Lightning in round 1. So they continue on. Daniel says if the Bruins had lost, that would have given them back-to-back 3-1 series that they'd blown in the playoffs. The Maple Leafs have now lost 6 straight, 6 straight of Game 7s.
I was all in on watching overtime on Saturday and pulling for the Maple Leafs, and it didn't last long.
No, by the way, Boston's goalie in a 7-game series allowed 9 goals. You're not going to lose many series when your goalie allows 9 goals in a 7-game series.
Pacers, Knicks start their series, T-Wolves and Nuggets tonight. Don't forget the golf card. It's a limited offer here. We're about halfway home, so you can jump in and purchase that golf card before it's gone. $99 gets you green fees and cart at all those golf locations: Woodward Golf and Country Club, Limestone Spring Golf Course, Cross Creek Golf Course, and the Meadows Golf Course. No limitations there. Brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. So go to nextround.store and buy that golf card today. Show being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse. What's happening Sunday, LT?
It's Mother's Day done away, and that's why this is such a simple gift for Mom, the gift of luxury from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Stop in, see Stuart and that incredible staff, or just make it easy on yourself, and you can order it right now from your office, home, wherever you're sitting. You can order online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Gift cards, such a convenient, great gift for Mom out there. She can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, order Mom's gift right now. 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you.
Okay, so many things we've talked about on the show today. One thing I haven't before we get to trash is this. Chris Kim is 16 years old. He becomes the youngest guy to make a cut on the PGA Tour in 11 years. He made the cut this weekend at the Byron Nelson event, 16 years old. I mean, obviously they've had young golfers do it before. I believe Tiger Woods would have been in this category as well. But 11 years since they've had a 16-year-old or younger make the cut.
I saw the graphic. I was watching the end of the tournament yesterday when they showed the graphic, and the guys that have done it haven't exactly torn it up. And I can't remember all the names. I wish I could right now. But, you would look at that and you're like, oh, it's.
Tiger wasn't one of them, right? Because
I don't think so.
He didn't really get on the tour and even take a shot at it until he was already
Spieth
amateur.
one?
Spieth might have been. I know he played in the tournament in that same tournament, the old Byron Nelson. And it's just, it hasn't produced like, the guy. Those guys just don't automatically go on and dominate. It's not one of those deals where just because you're really good at 16, so much changes. But that kid's got a good pedigree. His mom was an LPGA Tour player. Really good one, and he's got a chance, obviously, and we'll see. I mean, that's 16 years old against the greatest golfers in the world to make the cut. That is really, really impressive.
And I think he's from England, if I remember the story correctly. So he won't be on our side for the Ryder Cup unless we go over and take back the homeland. Let's go over there and take our tea back. It's trash time, man. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right. LT has it. Hit the big button, rock star.
Retired Army Lieutenant General Lieutenant. Oh, I'm scared. Well, Joe, are we having Hurtling joining us?
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
It is spring buying season, and our friends at Mortgage Right, they are here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham and offer loans throughout the country. And while the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website, mortgageright.com/TNR, or call their Birmingham office on Highway 280, 205-900-7200. Talk with someone right now. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. So we've Snakes on a Plane. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie.
I've never seen the movie. Nope.
Yeah, I never really had desire to see the movie. I think I saw like a clip of it. But Snakes on a Plane have been founded now at Miami's airport. Almost literally snakes on a plane in Miami when TSA officers found a bag of reptiles hidden in a passenger's pants. They detected the bag of snakes was hidden, and Miami-Dade police officers partnered in to assist with this. Snakes were turned over to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, according to TSA. Animals were identified as juvenile palmetto corn snakes. Pink in color, by the way.
Yeah, I may hide a snake at a lot of places. My pants is not.
You're telling me the snakes in the pants were pink colored?
Yes,
they were. Yeah,
could get confusing. I had a dream I got bit by a snake the other night. I'd forgotten it until Lance just brought this up. It was a horrifying dream. Bitten by a snake.
I told you, I still have snake dreams.
Yeah,
I do not.
I did the other night for some reason. I don't know what it was.
So, I don't know if I believe this story, Rocky. The first one that you gave us, that was from our friend Zach, one of our listeners, the snake story. But what would you do if you were in prison trying to hide a smuggled-in mobile phone during a raid by police officers?
Well, there are limited spots on your body.
I can think of two.
Yeah, you either swallow it or
swallow it.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather stick it in my ass. This guy swallowed it. The incident happened around the first week of April. Soon enough, he started complaining of stomach pain, did not reveal the reason. Police took him to district hospital. Doctors at the hospital conducted an ultrasound scan, found a foreign object in his stomach on April 25th, performed a surgery by cutting open his stomach to remove the foreign object. It was only at the end of the 75-minute procedure they figured out the reason for his stomach pain. Keypad mobile phone stuck in the stomach, and it was at the beginning of the small intestine. Surgeons removed the phone, said he had carried it in his stomach for 20 days. How do you swallow?
As they said, they don't have a picture of it. They said it was a smaller phone, but yes, it is still something major to swallow. But then, after 20 days, going, okay, this is a problem.
Are you comfortable saying you could swallow a quarter right now without choking?
A quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, over a phone, 100%.
No, I know that over a phone, but I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to swallow a quarter.
But if it's a quarter that I know you guys know I'm not supposed to have, and it's going to cost me a big problem, I think it's easier to swallow something like that. Like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just going to swallow it, not even think.
Yeah, well, I feel like my throat is about the size of a quarter.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't know how big. I don't know how big I don't know how big my throat is.
Yeah,
I'll show you.
A quarter seems big.
I'll show you.
Elbow.
Could you imagine swallowing the phone only to realize you forgot to silence the ringer?
Yeah. I was on vibrate.
I'd rather be in the hole for a couple of days than risk swallowing a cell phone.
Well, a good thing they caught it before. I mean, he chose to swallow it as opposed to the other one.
Yeah.
If he'd waited long enough, he'd experienced both ends.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be easier to get the other end out quicker. Like if you swallow it to the point of the story, it probably ain't going to make it all the way there.
Clean read here, rucking. Do you guys know what rucking is?
I do. Yeah, it's when you're running with a backpack on, right? And all the gear. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Did you know that?
I did not. I was going to guess rucking is what you do when you're
watching Ferris Bueller.
What you do when you're
Ruck,
you're on a boat and you're throwing up. That is called rucking.
Rucking is a form of physical exercise that involves walking or hiking with a loaded backpack or rucksack, typically over varying distances and terrains.
I see that occasionally where I go running and walking for young men who are about to go off to the military. They're training for when they enlist.
Now, according to Bria Rubin, quote, you can ruck on a dog walk. You can ruck in between your kids' baseball games. You can ruck with a friend. Rubin is part of a Ruck Evolution, a group that offers training sessions while enjoying the outdoors. They strap on backpacks weighted with water and march or ruck through some of the most scenic backdrops, all while burning more calories than they would on a normal hike.
I can imagine you strap on a big old backpack. You're going to burn
a little extra weight.
Yeah.
I mean, little T rucks all the time.
I know.
She?
Oh my God, her backpack is crazy.
I could send you video. The backpack, which I think we determined weighed 55 pounds at one point.
I mean, you put her on a seesaw, the backpack on the other, it's going to be close.
Yeah, when we were at the Final Four, and we had to walk at least 2 miles around that place, and she had that backpack on, and I couldn't keep up with her. So she was flying.
She's a fast walker too, little T.
I don't know if you knew this, Brown, but now when I hit the camera, it does Washington shaky camera.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
it's like we're playing in
Scotty,
Seattle.
have you noticed that?
Yeah. I'm sure Scott has noticed it.
Okay, we were part of the Mystery Fifth Hour. We were talking about cruises. And I said, I have no desire. I've been on 2. I don't want to go on 1. How about this one? The Big Nude Boat will take travelers from Miami to the Caribbean on an 11-day adventure. The website says back to paradise.
Yeah. Now, look.
One thing I like about this is an honest picture.
That's what I was about to say, Rockstar.
I like that. It's not 25-year-old girls that are like beautiful bodies. Like, this is an honest picture of who you're going to experience.
This give them some credit for not false advertising.
I agree with that. But this is going to be the biggest collection of creeps in the history of the
Well,
world.
I mean, you got a lot of
Yeah,
naked
again,
people
you're not-
standing very close to one another in this photo.
I'm not
so-
expecting models on this boat.
Yeah,
No.
you're not getting that. Like, I mean, the second guy right next to Michelle Beadle right there is, I mean, he's in his 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's Ed Werder.
I was
mean,
wondering
it's
where
the ESPN reunion.
Beadle was.
Michelle Beadle, Ed Werder. Yeah.
There's Rex Chapman down a little bit with the beard.
The Walking Dead.
Halfway down is Melissa Etheridge.
So if you're interested, set sails from February 3rd to Valentine's Day 2025. The trip offers, quote, stress-free, clothes-free experience. It's going to be 2,300 passengers. Passengers won't be allowed to be naked when the ship is docked, but can ditch their usual attire once they're anchored or out on the water. And while clothing is optional, standard nudist etiquette must be abided by, according to the website. When sitting, nude passengers must either wear a thong or sit on a towel or some kind of fabric. And while the self-serve buffet on the pool deck is a clothes-free area, passengers must dress for all dining room meals.
It's just the opposite of our trash open when they're by the pool, Rockstar. Somebody goes, "Why'd you put your shorts on?" My balls were hot.
Some
I
sort of
understand.
fabric. Some sort of
I
fabric.
love this. Photos and videos will not be permitted unless all individuals being documented give consent.
Dave is correct. Even in their promo photo, do the math right there. 5 dudes, 2 women.
Yep.
That is the way that cruise is going to be. It is going to be a sausage party.
Again, paradise.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is going to be few women and a lot of men.
So, U.S. government signed a secret treaty with aliens to, quote, mutually benefit each other, according to a UFO expert and filmmaker.
I thought we already knew this.
Did you meet this guy when you were in Roswell?
Potentially. There were a lot of guys like that out there.
Researcher Mark Christopher Lee spoke exclusively to the Daily Star about the supposed treaty that some claim was signed by the U.S. military under President Dwight Eisenhower and was hidden within the infamous Majestic 12 UFO files. Now, he went on to tell the Daily Star, quote, "It was a mutually beneficial way the aliens needed something that we've got, hence abductions and also cattle mutilations. And in return, the military gets to back engineer their technology." Now, Lee added, communication between humans and aliens would most likely happen using the mind or telepathy. Quote, "Considering that we as humans only use a small part of our brain, I guess that's where we will end up being evolving to, which is why some believe the gray aliens that people have reported seeing are actually us in the future."
You know a fun fact about Dwight Eisenhower?
Yeah.
He named Camp David.
Yeah, after his son, right?
Named after his grandson because Roosevelt called it Shangri-La. Not see as bad as like presidents in Shangri-La this weekend. So
Yeah.
we said, we're going to name it Camp David.
It does sound more official when it's Camp David.
So yesterday was the anniversary.
Wait, don't get past great movie idea. Porn people take real movie names and change it. Keith goes, "Snakes on a Cruise" is what you were just talking about.
Oh, the Naked Cruise?
Yeah, instead of Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
What about Titanic?
Rockstar's got the
Yeah.
better one.
It's in the name.
That is better. Yeah.
Yes.
Just change the pronunciation.
Yeah. Hit that iceberg.
The Love Bone.
Hit it again.
Very good.
Hey, so yesterday was the 24th anniversary of the opening of Gladiator, just one of the all-time classics out there. And I never knew this. Like, I knew Oliver Reed died when they were filming. They had to digitalize a lot of the ending scenes that Oliver Reed was in. But Ridley Scott has recalled the death of Oliver Reed during the making of Gladiator, remarking that he, quote, dropped down dead on the floor of a pub.
Oh.
Now, Reed died midway through the production of the Russell Crowe epic, which was released, again, 24 years ago. Speaking to Variety for an oral history of the film, Scott said, quote, "One Sunday morning, he dropped dead on the floor of a pub, probably had a couple of pints, said, 'I don't feel good.' He laid on the carpet and died." Now, Reed was a notorious drinker for much of his life. He had made a number of promises to Scott prior to filming, including that he would not drink during production. He worked around his promise, however, by only drinking on weekends. Co-star David Hemmings, a longtime friend of Reed's, had also pledged that he would keep him safe and sober on the set. But he got into a drinking competition, is what they said. He challenged the crew to some sort of drinking debauchery, drank a little bit, passed out, and died. They said they still got his bar tab, by the way.
My favorite
They
scene.
say honor him after he died.
My favorite scene in the movie when Commodus realizes it's Maximus. The look on Joaquin Phoenix's face. That's such good acting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he goes white as a sheet when he realizes.
When he took the mask off?
Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh.
You vex me. He vexes me.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by.
Our friends at Mortgage Right, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right are here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and low rates make the process so easy. And speaking of veterans, they are veteran-founded right here in Birmingham. So whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right is your one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200.
JA says a reminder to go ahead and get Mother's Day gifts taken care of this week early so you're not scrambling this weekend. We recommend a lot of our great sponsors to do that, including our friends at Woodhouse, Blakely's Bouquet, all of them. Go and handle and take care of all that stuff, including your butcher shop. You can go by there and get a great meal.
Yeah, you can get gift cards from the New York Butcher Shop, too. Bottles of wine. I mean, Mom's going to like everything. And look, Mom doesn't want to cook on her big day, so get into the New York Butcher Shop. Call something in on Saturday. Jim and the guys will have it ready for you. Whether it's some of the best when it comes to the USDA finest meats, specialty items, deli sandwiches, smoked meats, prepared sides, a great selection of fine wines and desserts, rare quality, well-done service, 2 locations. Stop in today, Cabo Heights and Highway 119. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
One more segment to go. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew already up there serving you lunch for almost an hour now. The chicken is cooked to order. It's brined overnight. It's so flavorful. Hand-cut chicken fingers and the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's all so good right there at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Birmingham's favorite lawn party returns to Greystone for the Region's Tradition, May 8th through 12th. Watch the legends of the game at Greystone and check out the Celebrity Pro-Am featuring Charles Barkley, Nick Saban, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze, and country superstar Riley Green. Enjoy the fun in the sun at the White Claw Watering Hole and Casamigos Club. And don't miss the food trucks and the Friday concert featuring the Black Jacket Symphony. The Region's Tradition. Buy your tickets today.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach, unless you haven't paid your phone bill. Then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. Nextroundlive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to nextroundlive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Back with you on The Next Round. Our gutter cap sound of the day comes from Skip Holtz of the Stallions. After going 6-0 over the weekend now, with 4 games remaining in the regular season, they're at home Saturday, 3 o'clock against St. Louis, maybe a preview of a championship game matchup. They clinch a playoff spot. Here's Skip Holtz after the win.
It's always great to win. As I told our team in the locker room after the game, winning's hard. Winning's hard, and it takes a total team effort from Sunday all the way through Saturday. I mean, Saturday is where we see the result. But the way this team has worked, the way that they have really done a great job of staying humble and going out and executing. I think they've been playing at a really high level together as a team. It's a long season. We're now 6 games into it. 6-0, which is quite an accomplishment. We still got a pretty strong test ahead of us with the 4 teams that we have remaining. I believe 3 of them have a winning record, so we've still got a pretty tough slate going ahead of us. We just got to keep banging that rock, and as we've said, we don't want to be result-oriented. We want to make sure that we are going to be as good as we can be.
3 o'clock, theufl.com for tickets at home at Protective Saturday against St. Louis and A.J. McCarron. That's our gutter cap sound of the day.
23-3, by the way.
That's
the Nick
insane.
Saban of the UFL.
Yes.
823-2212. Call our good friend Chris Stewart today. Get an absolutely free estimate. 45% off the retail price. The last thing you want to do is the dirty, dangerous job of cleaning the gutters. You get the ladder out, you get on the roof, one misstep, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212 or go to capbirmingham.com.
Luke and Bill had the Stallions game Saturday, and the part I watched, he was talking about how Adrian Martinez, he played well at Nebraska. We turned it over too much. Went to Kansas State thinking he was going to be the starter, got beat up by Will Howard, and he goes, he's actually playing the best football I've ever seen him play right now. And so, maybe it just took time for Adrian Martinez.
I think Adrian Martinez is going to get a NFL shot.
Maybe
and it's
so.
interesting, the Matt Corral, Adrian Martinez, it's worked.
Yeah. They keep using different ones, Skip taking advantage of this as a developmental league, letting both guys play 3 o'clock this weekend. This is our last big thing today, brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Joe Klatz, post-spring top 25. He now has Ohio State as his number 1 team. Georgia is 2, Texas 3, Oregon 4. So if the playoffs started today, but they don't, it'd be awkward to play football in May at the collegiate level. But Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, and Oregon. Oregon seems to be running hot, to play off our Hemp Hill theme here right now.
They do.
They're very popular right now, but Dylan Gabriel's the quarterback, and they're filling in some holes through the portal right here. Shocking from Joel that Ole Miss is 5. That surprises me a little bit. Utah's really high at 6. Bama's up to 7. Was 9th at one point.
Had them at 9?
Yeah. Michigan 8, Penn State 9, Missouri 10 to round out the top 10.
To me, interesting. He's got Nebraska in the top 25.
He does. I feel like Ole Miss and Utah a touch high for Joel there, 5 and 6. Both
I
those
do too,
teams.
but here's what I was going to say, Brown. Kind of what we said about Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, you got to find that 5th team. You've got to be able to fill this top 10 in.
I know.
And I do believe there is going to be some major surprises, not to win a national championship, but getting in the college football playoff. There will be surprises.
Those with us on the audio platform only, you can't see the screen, from Joel Klatt: Notre Dame 11, Florida State 12, Clemson 13, LSU 14, USC 15, Tennessee 16, Utah, Miami, Oklahoma State, Kansas State 20, Arizona 21, Nebraska 22, KU 23, Iowa 24, and Texas A&M 25 there for the Joel Klatt post-spring top 25.
Do you ever think you would see a time where you had as many teams in a preseason top 25 from the state of Kansas as you do Florida?
No, I did not.
Not at all. Not at all. Who's missing for you guys?
I was going to say real quick, 9 SEC teams, so it's going to be hard to find an SEC team that's missing because you got 9 of them that are in there already.
Some would say Auburn.
Some would say that, yeah.
Washington lost a lot, 10 players of the draft, but they're completely out of the top 25, and they just played for the national championship. I think Michigan's going to fall off, and he's got them 8th.
That's a great point, LT. Washington not in the top 25. What if Joel did one of those that I used to do? I was always fearful of when I voted in the AP poll of leaving out a team I thought should have been ranked. Anybody else?
Washington is probably the biggest one. I don't know that they're going to fall off that much from the national championship game to out of the top 25. Now, they do play a Big Ten schedule, but
I do think Wisconsin's going to be better in year 2 under Luke Fickell.
Yeah, it doesn't have them rings.
They're consistently in the top 25, and they're, according to DraftKings, they're only a 7.5 point underdog to Alabama.
Yeah, at home. 9 SEC teams, 7 Big Ten teams. So 16 of your 25 in 2 conferences. And we're going to have to get used to that. That is just the way this sport is going to be played moving forward.
I'm going to be surprised if Auburn does not end up in the top 25. I don't know about
At the
you
end
guys.
of the year, yeah.
Like, I think their floor is like 7 wins. I think they're probably 8 or 9 wins, which will put them in the top 25.
Our friends at Hemphill bringing you that look from Joel Klatz.
Yeah, make sure
25.
you keep that AC, keeping up with this changing weather. 205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham's trust since 1954 for all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. HemphillServices.com.
All right, so that was Joel Klatz post-spring top 25. You've got a chance to vote as well. We'll leave the voting open through tomorrow as well. If you'd like to be a part of our preseason 40 and 40 countdown as a voter, this is the hard part. You vote. You give me your top 25 teams. So I'm going to go through and we'll pick out at nextroundlive.com, those of you that jump in, we have a certain number in mind that we need. Once we over that, I'll pair through those and come up with a voting list and let you know. But you can go ahead and be working on your top 25 now. We'll start the 40 and 40 countdown pretty soon. 40 shows that'll take us all the way to SEC Media Days. So we're that close to football conversation every day here on the show. If you'd like to be a voter in our MyBookie 40 and 40 countdown this year, just go to nextroundlive.com. nextroundlive.com. Look for I want to be a voter on the nextroundlive.com. Click it, fill out the information, and hopefully you'll get selected to give me your top 25 in our own preseason top 40 that we do every year. One of my favorite things we do, counting down to the SEC Media Days.
Means we're close, baby.
Means we're close. And then it's SEC Media Days, and
Yes.
then practice starts, and then it's the games.
Talk to me, Jim.
So by mid-May, by May 15-ish.
It's almost football season.
At that point, we have something every day that gets us to football season.
That's right. We're almost there at May 15. That's all we got to do.
May 15th is all we got to do. And until then, the portals in basketball apparently is going to keep us churning, man. Keep us churning. All right, that's the show. Thanks to everybody. Remember, thumbs up. Like us, subscribe to us, thumbs up. Follow us at Next Round Live on all of our social media platforms. That makes Taylor so happy. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.